sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. An armed man rams a vehicle through the doors of a suburban Detroit synagogue, driving through a hallway, and is engaged by security, according to CBS's Scott McFarlane.
Sources tell CBS News that the person suspected of this attack today in Oakland County, Michigan, is dead, was taken down by security. Person believed responsible for this attack by car at a synagogue in West Bloomfield, Michigan, is dead.
Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard.
We have no victims other than one of the lead security people was hit by the car and was taken to the hospital for treatment.
Investigators are trying to identify the suspect and motive. CBS's Anna Schechter.
All signs are pointing a targeted attack on a synagogue, on the Jewish community at this point.
2 people were shot and wounded at Old Dominion University's business school building in Virginia this morning. The gunman is dead. The student was in the building when the shooting happened.
We heard screams, like faint screams at first, and then the screams got louder, and then I guess that's when everyone took it more serious, and we all just ran.
The university has canceled classes and suspended all operations on its main campus for the rest of today. Iran state-run media has issued on the first public statement attributed to the Islamic Republic's new supreme leader. No audio or video, just a statement read aloud by a presenter on Iranian state TV and is heard through an interpreter.
Most importantly for those oil prices is that he has called for the Strait of Hormuz to stay closed.
President Trump is weighing in on Iran's soccer team.
Posting on social media, President Trump wrote, quote, "The Iran national soccer team is welcome to the World Cup, but I really don't believe it is appropriate that they be there for their own life and safety," unquote. The president's comments come 2 days after he told the head of FIFA that Iranian players would be welcome to play in the tournament despite the war against Iran. The Men's Soccer World Cup will be played this summer and is jointly hosted by Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump wants an immediate vote on the Save America Act, which would require Americans to show proof of citizenship in person to register to vote in federal elections and implement photo ID requirements for voting. CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns reports. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says
he is putting this bill on the floor next week and saying they're going to have a robust debate about this, that he wants to move forward with this bill, that he supports this bill. But the reality is that the votes just aren't there.
Stocks right now are down on Wall Street. The Dow has fallen 654 points. Oil is up 10%. This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at JTV.com.
An update on power outages from last night's powerful storm. That is straight ahead. But first, let's swing it over to the KIRO Newsradio traffic desk and check in with Lori.
Traffic is brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Southbound I-5 at 164th. We have a collision in the HOV lane, and boy, it's slowing you down both directions of I-5, making your drive Seattle from Everett an extra 19 minutes. Linwood to Bellevue, an easy 17-minute drive. Another accident north 5, the off-ramp to Albro, it's partly blocking. 410 reopened after being closed overnight, and repairs to the 99 First South Bridge will continue through tomorrow night at midnight. Find your pot of gold at Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Save up to 20%, plus enjoy 12 months same as cash financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com now. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Utility crews have been working overnight to bring power back online. Andrew Padula is with Puget Sound Energy.
Numerous tree limbs into our lines. There are some locations where we have had damage to substations and areas where poles have been taken out completely, which means we'll have to replace all of that. I believe that we had about 65,000 outages kind of at the peak of this storm.
That number now is down to just under 20,000. One person has died after a tree slammed down on a car in Monroe. Neighbors heard the crack and smash and then sirens around 8:30 last night. Kaya Eden spoke to KIRO 7 TV.
Any one of these trees can fall. You have to stay home. They call them widowmakers for a reason.
Responders tried to save the person who was trapped in their car, but they were pronounced dead at the scene. He was on the FBI's most wanted list for only an hour. Then a man wanted for killing 2 women in Federal Way was arrested in Mexico. Federal Way Police Chief Andy Huang.
This tragic incident occurred in May of 2023 at the Stars Bar and Grill. Officers responded to reports of a shooting in the parking lot behind the business.
Samuel Ramirez Jr. was extradited from Mexico and transferred to Federal Way Police custody this morning. SeaTac is about to be home to one of the biggest airline lounges in the country. Alaska Airlines is building a 40,000 square foot lounge in the Sea Concourse. The Puget Sound Business Journal reports it'll be 2 stories tall, each floor about 20,000 square feet. Alaska's real estate chief says there will be 2 parts, a traditional lounge and a separate space for international travelers. It's all part of a $399 million expansion of the Sea Concourse that should wrap up ahead of the World Cup this summer. The war in Iran continues to force gas prices up. KIRO 7 TV's Dee Sun has more.
In our state, the price went up another 2 cents overnight. According to AAA, the statewide average is $4.74. That is 30 cents higher than it was a week ago. Washingtonians have one of the highest gas taxes in the country, which is responsible for about 55 cents per gallon.
And now let's get a look at your KIRO News Radio weather. A lot more calm than yesterday. Scattered rain showers and a high around 55 this afternoon. Overnight lows in the mid-30s, bringing a chance of rain-snow mix to start off Friday morning. Tomorrow's forecast, however, will pretty much be a repeat of today. Less rain and more sun for the weekend. 46 and cloudy in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Happy Thursday. Jake Skorheim sitting right here. Spike O'Neill sitting right beside me.
Hey, brother. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. To get to today. Boy, do we have a jam-packed show. Really jam-packed. We got weather to talk about. We have, we're number 1 in Washington. We'll tell you why in just a second. I don't know if it's something we want to be number 1 at, but we are number 1 at something, which is okay. So we'll talk about that. And later in the show, tons of other great stuff, like your text messages, which you guys can text us. We will try to get those in as part of the conversations. You can hit us up on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Here's another fun feature. You guys may be unaware of this, but we live stream, so you can watch us as we're doing the show live, and even on the commercial breaks, we never shut the cameras off because we're not trying to hide anything from you. We don't let you hear the audio because that's when we get to gossip about our coworkers. But the rest of the time, you can hear what we're saying. Is that not right?
Yeah.
That's correct.
And you can tell from our facial expressions how we genuinely feel about our coworkers.
And it's like professional sports on the sidelines when we're going to say something real nasty. I do that. I cover my mouth so you can't read my lips.
You have a play sheet in front of your mouth.
It's like a coach. I'm like, did you hear what they just said on the news break? Cover my mouth. All right. Should we get right into, did you lose power last night at all?
Knockwood. No.
Yeah, me neither. Thank God.
Literally 1 street over from us lost power. I can see from, it's funny, I can see from our house, we kind of look up the hill.
Sure.
At a few different homes that are on the hillside looking over.
You don't live on a hill?
We live on a hill, but we live going down the slope of a hill toward the sound.
I only live on hills so I can look down on other people.
That's what you do in all directions. Plus, it keeps you safe from attack.
It does.
That's from your Scandinavian
see what's
descent.
coming.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I looked up the hill and saw a whole dark swath of hill. So I knew, and I went up the street to look at how far up it went because our grocer at the top of the street is on a different power block
different grid,
than we. So they were out.
And some people just get dumb lucky. I mean, literally, how it sucks because you're 1 street over.
Right.
People are losing power, and you're looking across, and do you feel guilty when that happens?
Always.
Oh, I never do.
I see.
you and me are different people.
You never throw a power cord over the fence. Ours is literally the house next to us, right next door.
Yeah.
Is on it. Sometimes they lose power and we don't, or vice versa. More often them than us.
Sure. In all seriousness, I do feel bad for the people who lose power.
But it's not like you're going to put stuff in your freezer to keep their food fresh. You're not going to do that.
What could I even do?
Right.
Like, I have a few power cords. I'm happy to share them.
I sent Laura a picture. I went up the hill to see what the problem was. Whatever was the problem.
We do have a picture of this.
Yeah. There was a power pole got blown over. This is it it would be on, not to be giving you too much, but it's up in the Richmond Beach area.
It's a gas station near your house.
Gas station near my home. There you can see the wind blew the power pole over, which took out the power lines. And I mean,
this is so dangerous. I mean, think about it. If you were in your car at the time, driving around that area, this is what, 8-ish, 7:30, 8-ish at night, probably?
About that last night, yeah.
I mean, that's
exactly.
well within the time that somebody would be up there filling up gas or whatever.
And how close did that come to the wind blowing the wrong direction? That thing falls into a gas pump. Not to be,
no, it could have been
Michael
disaster.
Baying the moment, but
somebody died in Monroe. Did you see that?
A tree, yeah.
A tree fell on a car in Monroe around 8:20 east of Monroe. Just horrible. And that's really close to where I live. I was driving around last night. I took my sons to a park. Stupidly, probably wasn't a good idea.
You guys flying kites or something?
We were flying kites. We're trying to
get a lot of lift.
We were trying to prove electricity.
Nice.
And so my kids last night. It's after dinner. My wife is putting the baby to bed, and the three big boys are like they had so much energy, and I didn't
from the storm, right?
It
riles them up.
It does rile them
up. The
wind,
the weather. It's an incident. Yeah.
Going to the window, like look out there, look out there. So I'm like, all right, boys, let's go out in it. And so we drove to a park nearby.
Okay.
That didn't have any trees right around it.
I was going to say.
I knew it was safe. If I'm being completely honest, there was a lot of trees around it.
Skeeter, hold this lightning rod. Let's see how it goes.
I didn't even think about that until I got to the park, and the kids are running around going nuts. We're the only ones there, and I'm like, everybody else is stupid. We're the smart ones. We're at the park, and nobody else is.
We parked up front.
Yeah.
This is great.
Look at this.
It's like going to Disney on a closed day. Why doesn't anybody do this?
Yeah. Welcome to Wally World. We're revamping. So they're running around, and I did notice at a certain point, this is when good parenting kicked in, like late, but it kicked in eventually. All the trees are swaying.
Oh, yeah.
And my son stops, my soon-to-be 11-year-old, he stops and he looks up and he goes, Dad, I think that tree's going to break. And only at that point did it click in my head. I went, oh, yes, you're right, son.
From the mouths of babes.
It could break and fall on you. We should go home. And so we did. At that point, I took him home, and then I told the story to my wife and then pretended like I was the one who was smart.
Sure.
I got credit
Well, duh.
for protecting my children.
Well, you guys are a collective. The men of the house are a collective. You can take credit for all smart decisions reached by the group.
Absolutely.
Sure. Of course.
I'll take it.
That's what leadership looks like.
But we didn't
put
lose
a group
power.
together. You take credit for the good ideas that come from that group.
That is leadership.
That's leadership.
Absolutely. Yeah. Leading from the back. We did not lose power, but a lot of people, I guess 120,000 people lost power.
At the height last night, yeah.
Yeah.
Last I heard, they had the number down to, I think, 30,000 or somewhere in that ballpark area as crews get out to clean up and restore.
This is Andrea Padula from Puget Sound Energy talking about the power outages.
Right now, the challenge is trying to get...
Andrew, I should say. I don't read good. Andrew Padula.
Right now, the challenge is trying to get to some of these locations. We're finding that there's still a lot of trees blocking roads to some of these spots, so making it very difficult for our crews to actually even get there, make the assessment, and then start the process of the restoration efforts.
This next clip, too, this is from KIRO 7, actually talked to a neighbor, and this was the neighbor who heard the tree falling who that killed the person, which is, I hope it's not too morbid to play this. It's just one of those things that happens. It's awful. It's an awful story.
6 or 7 cars went through before there was like a bang and then a big flash of light. And I was like, oh, maybe a transformer blew. Then I heard the sirens.
She says you got to take these warnings seriously.
It's hard. It's a hard thing. Any one of these trees can fall. You have to stay home. They call them widowmakers for a reason.
Man, it's so true. I mean, it really, there was, this must have been in the last storm, whenever it was. We had a couple months, maybe like a month ago, 2 months ago. I don't remember. It might have been right before Christmas or something. There was a bunch of windstorms that came through. But we lost a tree in our backyard.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
That was massive. And I mean, the tree must have been, I lost count of the rings. There was a lot of them. I started, but I lost count. But it was so huge. And I just assumed, well, a tree that gets that tall, it's not going to break because it's been growing through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of storms.
It's a solid piece of timber, yeah.
Yeah, and then it just snapped. It missed our house by probably 15 feet. And then in another storm recently, we had this big maple tree in our backyard that broke, and I didn't even see that it broke because it's like one of the, it's like, there's a bunch of maple trees, right? It's the same tree, but it's like a bunch of, like a hand looking up, it's
sure.
like a bunch of, it's all one base, but then a bunch of
limbs,
but straight up. And one of those broke and then was just there. And the kids were outside playing for 2 weeks. And I'm kind of looking at the tree. You just don't look at these things.
Right.
I'm looking at the tree and I realized, I was like, that's broken.
Yeah.
So we had to go in and like
Leaves have
remove.
started to die? Is that how you noticed?
The what now?
Leaves have started to die off on that broken limb? Or?
Well, it's in the winter, so there's already no leaves.
Oh, okay.
But I just wasn't paying that close attention to it. But it was broken. So we had to cut down like 2/3 of that tree because it was those trees were holding up the broken part.
Yeah.
And it was, it's so scary. So be careful and watch
the wind
yourself.
event is mostly over for the most part. Still some rain to come. Is that what I'm hearing? More snow in the mountains?
Yes.
Maybe another foot or more?
Yeah, which
as the storm continues to hit us?
Snowboarders apparently are happy about.
Yeah.
Why not stay in Salt Lake City? You have good skiing and snowboarding there.
Yeah, the snow's been really bad across a lot of the West, so we wanted to come chase this snowstorm because this could be the final good series of snowstorms for the season.
There you go. Is it no. Is it spring?
Not for another 10 days or something
But in
or
10
so.
days it's spring?
23rd, March 23rd, 22nd, 23rd.
That's crazy.
My old farmer kicking in here.
So,
I don't know.
But we get snow pretty late here in Washington. So
We can get snow in April. We've had April snow, sure.
Yeah.
I was just talking to somebody in the coffee, the kitchen. I don't know what we call that back there.
Coffee kitchen.
The water cooler,
Sure.
as it were. That we're probably going to get. We had that nice little stretch of 60 and sunny, right back in late February.
That felt good.
As we always get fall spring. That's
I
part
like
of one of the 17 seasons of the Northwest.
Yeah.
And he's moaning. Yeah, it's probably going to be around 35 for Mariners opening day. We'll get in the end of March. We'll get these blanket and sweater games down there at
I could go without that. I don't need the cold at this point. I'm ready for it to be done. If I'm being honest,
No,
I'm totally okay with when it was sunny. I like it.
It's wonderful.
I don't know if that makes me crazy, but I like the sun.
I mean, I love sunny weather. I love when the weather, the seasonal blanket comes into the Northwest.
Sure.
I dig the gray. I dig the moist, the wet. I love that part of the Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
I love our seasonal damp and gray. It kind of makes everybody feel I feel cozier.
Kind of cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm ready. I'm with you. I'm ready for the sun. I'm ready for the
let's go,
spring.
son.
I'm ready
Let's
for
go
spring.
outside. Mostly I just want to get my kids outside.
Well, apparently you'll take them out of the
Even at risk of their life. All right. I saw this story, and this is good news. Actually, no, this is not good news. We have reached the top of the list. According to Seattle Red had this story. You can go check it out there if you're interested. We are number 1 for, drum roll please,
rent.
Tech layoffs.
Go Northwest. Well,
Seattle has number 1 for tech layoffs, top of the global rankings. 16,590 employees worldwide have been affected by decisions made out of, the math here is a little bit, there's like tentacles that reach outside of our state, but 16,590 employees have been affected by decisions made out of companies headquartered here. San Francisco is second in this ranking at 9,395 employees. So we're like massively in first place, and the Menlo Park is third with 1,500. That's a lot. A lot of these businesses are saying that it's not necessarily because most of these jobs, it's about AI efficiencies kicking in.
Yeah, exactly.
And they just don't need the jobs anymore.
Right.
And they have this number here that I think is one of those interesting things that everybody was asking, what's AI going to do for businesses? What's AI going to mean for life? Listen to this last line of the story here. If 2026's current pace holds, Rational FX, which I guess is like global data stuff, warns total tech cuts could reach 264,730 by year's end. Those are jobs lost. 264,330 by year's end, surpassing 2025, which lost 245,000 jobs.
3 years in a row, tech has been the largest industry sector
leading in
layoffs and job loss.
3
years in a row through tech. And you talk about AI, and you're talking about what do they call those? Not power stations. Data centers. You're building more data centers. People, record investments in AI, $10 billion here, $10 billion there in AI. And that means real humans are going to become obsolete.
Isn't that so weird? I was listening. This is a side conversation, but we can have a little bit of it here. And actually, this dovetails into a conversation we had yesterday about Uber and Lyft.
Mm-hmm.
They have an option now for women to select, and women drivers, to select, do you want a woman driver and do you want only women passengers?
Sure.
Because women found that, I'm not as comfortable jumping into the car with a strange man that I don't know.
There's far too many examples given of attacks and violence and whatnot.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you might just also feel not comfortable with a guy driving, and that's totally fine. And then I was listening to this conversation about what Uber is projecting for the future of their cars. And just yesterday, as we were talking about this, Uber partnered with an Amazon company called Zoox, which I'd never heard of. You ever heard of this before?
Zoox?
Zoox.
No.
It's not what was the dumb Microsoft thing? The little...
Zune.
Zune. Okay, it's not a Zune.
Okay. It's a Zook.
Zoox.
Zoox with an X.
Zoox. I assume that means Zoox.
Okay.
Unless I'm spelling it incorrectly.
No,
could it be Zook?
No, I think it's Zoox.
Zoox.
You nailed it, yeah.
It's a driverless car.
Just at the zoo, from one part of the zoo to the other?
Just at zoos. Okay. It's a very niche market.
Sorry.
It's
animal transport.
Animal transport. No, but right now they're
driverless cars.
Driverless cars, which is not new. We've seen Waymo. We've seen all these.
Yeah.
There's driverless cars driving around Seattle.
I told you I followed one on the freeway a couple weeks ago.
Was it weird?
It was very weird.
Why would they put somebody in the car? Just as a safety.
At some point, you got to let the baby fly. You got to kick him out of the nest.
But why do we got to train babies to fly with other cars?
Well,
like the analogy's falling apart.
I made sure because in fact, I even stopped at them at the off ramp right next to them because I followed them on the freeway.
Peered inside.
I did. I followed them on the freeway, and I could tell that there was nobody in the car, right? And it had one of those big, Doppler radar type looking things on the roof.
The cameras are spinning
in all directions, and on all four corners of the car too. Yeah. Have little spinning cameras
with a sticker that says like,
"Pardon my patience.
Wait for me. There's no driver."
Yeah. And so I pulled up, and not just behind it on the off ramp, it's a 2-lane off ramp at my exit up there, 175th. Pulled up next to it to peer inside. There's nobody in this car, and as I went under the freeway toward my home, it went right back into the southbound entrance lane to run a southern-bound practice route.
It still somehow flipped you off, even though
little mechanical for checking them out. But yeah, driverless cars are coming. So
That's strange.
AI is going to take away the gig worker trade.
Here's the thing. What Uber says they're going to do, because they now partner with this Amazon company called Zoox. These are really cool looking, actually. So they're rolling them out in Las Vegas and LA. Vegas to me is kind of a perfect place to roll something like this out. Everybody there is there for a novelty reason, so it would make sense that these cars also. But here's what they say these cars they want to do. These autonomous vehicles were, quote, built specifically for ride hailing and designed for comfort, conversation, and connection with friends and family. And if you look at the cars, they look like little driving living rooms. I mean, not exactly. It is a car. I mean,
it's like a mini lounge back there with
it's like
facing
a little
seats,
lounge.
like a limo.
Seats facing each other, but there's no driver. It's the most bizarre thing. Have you seen those carts that drive around in certain cities that deliver food? It looks like. Did you ever see Flight of the Navigator? Do you remember the little robot that drives around?
Yes,
Sarah Michelle Gellar's walking around.
Yes, I do remember that.
Okay, so it looks like that, but on a bigger scale with like wraparound windows and seats for people to sit in to talk to each other. There's no driver.
I don't know.
It looks like the future, but here's what Uber said. They said autonomous ride sharing is projected to constitute approximately 10% of total ride shares by 10% of total ride shares, and they estimate that by 2035. 25% of all ride sharing will be autonomous vehicles.
I'm surprised it's that low, to be honest with you.
Well, just think about how quickly, though, between 20, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I would have thought more. How quickly that's going to go to 100%. And then all those people, I mean, that's another job lost by AI.
Sure.
All those people who are driving, like, how many millions of rideshare drivers are there?
More every day.
Those people are going to not have that avenue. And if the technology works and it's safer. I mean, statistically, they say it is safer.
Yeah.
If the technology works, the thing we talked about yesterday, like women having to be worried about being attacked by some creepy dude driving the car, or vice versa, I guess, in some rare, weird case, that all goes away because it's just autonomous drivers.
Well,
there's no driver.
Until has an audio sensor in the car. When you talk about committing a crime or do something illegal, it just locks the door and takes you right to the police station.
Well,
where a robot cop, because that's already been eliminated also, puts you into a cell. And by the way, I don't know if you saw that new Chris Pratt movie where they just eliminate judges and juries and just let AI decide if you're guilty or not.
Yes.
We could
eliminate. You have to kind of try to justify your life.
Eliminate humans altogether. Robot picks you up, robot takes you to jail, robot sentences you to life.
I will say this. If I am in a rideshare vehicle and the robot hears me talking about committing a crime, I'm okay if the robot stops me from committing that crime. What if the robot makes up a crime or reads my mind?
What if you're a fiction writer?
And says that I'm going to be doing this?
No, you're talking about a potential plot.
Well, yeah. It's got to discern if I'm talking about a potential plot.
Well,
yeah. That's true.
Will I have an option for a human driver at that point?
Oh, that's a selection you can make?
Yeah. We were talking yesterday about the male or female drivers. I want to mute.
That's a great question.
I want somebody who's not going to open their mouth while I'm in the car. I don't want to talk to you. Not you. I love you. But
Can I get a mute?
A mute?
I'd like a mime. I want
Sure.
a mime driver who just pretends to drive. An autonomous mime driver.
That'd be great.
I want a human mime
yes.
in the autonomous car who's not doing any driving.
Makes me feel better, but can't make a human mistake.
But is just actually
genius.
pretending to drive.
It's our next $1 million idea.
We need to talk to Matt McElwain about that.
We do. He's a
He's
venture
an investor.
capital. Yeah.
Mime drivers.
Yep.
In autonomous vehicles.
Right, for peace of mind.
For peace of...
How's that?
Call the company?
Peace of mind.
You're not going to get this anywhere else, folks. Also, don't steal that idea. Copyright. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
We'll admit, we've already thrown in the towel on the New Year's resolution.
Yeah, and we made it through dry January. But one healthy new habit we're sticking with is Active Liver from New Nordic. Did you know your liver works around the clock processing food, sugar, alcohol, and everyday toxins? All things that can really impact your health.
That's why daily support matters. Active Liver is designed to help protect normal liver function and support your body's natural detox process.
With trusted ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and artichoke extract, it's gentle enough to take all year long.
No harsh cleanses, no extreme detoxes, just simple daily liver support. We really feel the difference.
Yup, more energy and the peace of mind knowing we can enjoy the good things in life while giving our liver the love it needs.
Active Liver is available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com. Or you can find it in stores at CVS, Meijer Grocery, Wegmans, and now Active Liver is available at your local GNC.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical, there's no beating CM Heating.
You didn't work hard to watch your retirement unravel. You saved, you sacrificed, you built something meaningful for yourself and for your family. Hi, I'm elder law attorney Rajiv Nagaich. I've seen what happens when unexpected health events collide with traditional retirement plans. Savings that took decades to build drains away faster than anyone expected. At LifePoint Law, we help you build a life plan to help you protect your assets and way of life. If you are retired or thinking about retiring, now is the time to double-check your retirement plan.
Attending a free seminar now can help prevent your entire life savings from being devastated. Some simple planning will ensure you don't run out of money. Seats are filling up and your family's future is too important to delay. Sign up now for the next seminar in Bellevue on the 12th, Federal Way on the 14th, and Everett on March 17th. Learn more at lifepointlaw.com. That's lifepointlaw.com.
Mariners fans, the 2026 season is officially on deck. And Cal, Julio, and the defending AL West champs are ready to feed off your energy at T-Mobile Park. Be here for every monster home run.
There it is, number 60. The magical tour of Cal Raleigh just continues.
Every 100-mile-per-hour heater.
He throws it and the ball game's over. Andres Munoz has simply been incredible.
Every every clutch moment.
A bases clearing, 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead.
It's going to be an epic 50th season, and you won't want to miss it. Mariners baseball, try to answer.
The Mariners' first homestand is stacked. Don't miss opening day on March 26th. Cal Raleigh's 60 home run bobblehead night on March 28th. Presented by Alaska Airlines. And a star-powered showdown against Aaron Judge and the Yankees. March 30th through April 1st. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
Many financial plans include some level of tax awareness. When retirement begins, considering taxes isn't enough. One overlooked tax decision can quietly cost families thousands over time. At Madrona Financial and CPAs, your plan isn't built around products. It's built around coordination. Licensed CPAs and experienced advisors working together, aligning investments, retirement income, and intergenerational planning using tax-efficient strategies. Madrona Financial and CPAs. Planning built on credentials. Madrona Financial Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Special report. Police respond to reports of an active shooter at a synagogue in West Bloomfield Township, Michigan, and find that a man had slammed his vehicle through the Temple Israel doors and drove through a hallway. According to Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard, that suspect
was engaged by security. We believe there is one individual deceased in the vehicle. It's been complicated because there was some fire, to say the least, with that vehicle.
CBS News has confirmed that the suspect is dead. A synagogue security guard was taken to a hospital after being injured by the truck. CBS's Jonah Kaplan points out,
West Bloomfield, Michigan is home to a very strong Jewish community. About a third of the population there is Jewish. This is also one of the largest synagogues in the country. So what is happening here is going to reverberate among Jewish communities across the country.
FBI Director Kash Patel says agents are on the scene. CBS News Special Report, I'm Jennifer Kuiper.
And good afternoon, I'm Nate Connors. Well, it's not as simple as turning the lights back on around here after high winds knock power out for thousands of people in our region. Andrew Padula is with Puget Sound Energy.
Right now, the challenge is trying to get to some of these locations. We're finding that there's still a lot of trees blocking roads to some of these spots, so making it very difficult for our crews to actually even get there, make the assessment, and then start the process of the restoration efforts.
According to Puget Sound Energy, right now there are about 18,000 still without power. Today, the Bellevue Police Department announces its Bellevue Light Rail Unit, also known as BLU, 6 officers and a sergeant to patrol light rail trains and light rail stations in Bellevue. Here's spokesman Drew Anderson.
Because we know there's going to be a high volume of traffic along the 2 line, we're going to have a high volume of our officers along the 2 line as well to provide that kind of visibility that we know that community movers want to see.
Officers will partner with Sound Transit and King County Metro to respond to calls for service. The light rail cross-lake connection opens to passengers March 28th. The State Patrol is warning drivers to slow down out there. In King County alone, troopers have responded to 84 collisions in 24 hours. They say in every case, rain and snow was a contributing factor. And a winter storm warning is still in effect for the Cascades and Olympics through Saturday at 5 a.m. Heavy snow expected up to 2 feet. Winds are expected to stay gusty, not as bad as overnight, but it could make visibility a big problem. On Wall Street, the Dow down 600, S&P 500 down 85, and the NASDAQ down 335. And now at 12:33, let's send it over to Lori at the KIRO News Radio Traffic Desk.
Traffic is brought to you by the Seattle RV Show. Southbound 5 at 164th, the collision finally cleared. You're still backed up to 128th in South Everett, making your drive to Seattle from Everett an extra 5 minutes. Linwood to Bellevue, an easy 17-minute drive. 405 now northbound, the ramp to 167. We have a stall partly blocking. Again, 410 has reopened after being closed overnight. Heading over the mountain passes, traction tires advised on I-90, chains on US 2. Don't miss a Seattle RV show March 12th through the 15th at Lumen Field Event Center. Shop over 400 new models for every budget and lifestyle. Get tickets at seattlervshow.com. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. Scattered rain showers and a high in the mid-40s 40s this afternoon, down to 35 overnight, which could bring a rain-snow mix overnight into Friday morning. Cloudy and 46 right now in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. A lot of stuff to get to here. I had kind of a conspiracy theory I wanted to share with you, Spike. See if you think there's any merit to this.
I love conspiracy theories.
It's based on two bills that have now passed that Governor Ferguson has signed into law or will sign into law shortly. The first one, Charlie Harger highlights, and I'm going to read you the opening of his piece. You guys can read about this at mynorthwest.com. Charlie writes, I covered this session closely. I missed this one, and now it's about to become law. Then he talks about House Bill 2266, which would allow permanent supportive housing in residential zones. Now, when you think about supportive housing, we're talking about, like, Plymouth Housing has been in the news a lot as kind of a case where people are like, hey, this is maybe not a good thing. There's a lot of people who are being serviced in neighborhoods where they're getting housing first, but they're not required to stop doing some of the things. I'm not saying it's only Plymouth Housing.
No. I follow you now. Your supportive housing means like government-assisted housing, right?
Well, it means
with no barrier to entry.
Yes. So in this case, Charlie defines it for us. It says permanent supportive housing is subsidized housing with no time limits, no treatment requirements, no recovery expectations. Services are voluntary. Residents can use drugs inside. So the very reason that they might be on the street to begin with, they can now do those things inside.
Bad choices indoors.
Yes, basically. Rehab is mentioned only if a resident asks about it first. Staff will not bring it up otherwise.
They're not allowed to in some cases. They're not even allowed to by law.
They're not allowed to bring it up.
Off to offer or...
if somebody asks you and says, like, hey, can you tell me about this?
How do I get to
I guess that opens the door. But, yeah, in other cases...
It can't be instigated by the housing authority. Yeah.
So this law, which would allow this to go into any neighborhood in Washington... If I'm reading Charlie's piece correctly, it doesn't. So if let's say you live in the middle of Mill Creek, and somebody wants to open up a house. Like Mill Creek is a beautiful neighborhood. A lot of people live there. There's a lot of kids who ride bikes on those great paths around there.
You bet.
If they opened up a supportive housing facility in that neighborhood, or somebody wanted to, they couldn't stop that from happening now, according to this bill, if it's signed into law. You couldn't stop that. So the people who live in those houses, too, if you have somebody who's addicted to fentanyl or is a vicious alcoholic or something and is a danger to other people because of the actions that they are, taking every single day and they're doing drugs or they're drinking or whatever, are those the kind of people that you want in your little close-knit neighborhoods? I would argue the answer would be no.
I'd vote along with you.
And
I'd go to the council meetings. We went to the council meetings to stop accessory dwelling units from being more than 2 stories tall and blocking our view. City said get over it.
Yes.
And now they're telling us that they can put supportive housing in anywhere in the state.
Anywhere in the state. Listen to
this.
That's
why we moved out of the city, by the way, guys. Not that I don't love Seattle.
No, but
that's why we moved out.
To keep. And I'll bet you part of that motivation, or the biggest part of that motivation, was you have kids.
Yes.
And you had young kids at the time. And you
exactly
thought, you know what?
Right.
I would like to shield them from some of the harsher realities of life.
Of the city. I want to keep them safe.
As long as I can.
The city can't promise me safety. And now the state can't promise me safety?
So Daniel Malone, Charlie quotes Daniel Malone. He's the executive director of the Downtown Emergency Service Center in Seattle, who once described permanent supportive housing project this way, quote, we call it a hospice for alcoholics. We just want to keep them off the streets and give them a home.
Wow, that's harsh, but that is spot on.
In Bellevue, Plymouth Housing, again, this is in Charlie's piece, you guys can read it, recorded 5 calls in the second half of 2023. So in Plymouth Crossing in Bellevue, which most areas of Bellevue, very nice. So in 2023, 5 police calls in the second half of 2023. Okay. In 2024, that number went up to 148.
Oh, wow.
Plymouth calls those medical emergencies. So people were having problems or whatever with their addictions, and they needed to have 911 be called on their behalf.
Yeah, it wasn't a sprained ankle. Well, it might have been because you were so stoned you fell over and broke your ankle.
That's possible.
But it was probably ODs.
Probably ODs. It could be people having mental health episodes, psychotic breakdowns. Do you want these things in all the neighborhoods? I mean, like, what sane thinking person thinks this is a good idea? It's not. I mean,
this was signed into law. It says this was signed into law.
About to sign into law, according to Charlie's piece. About to sign into law. So, okay, so that's number one. So that went unnoticed. Number 2, another one, Workers' Bill of Rights, signed into law. This one actually did get signed into law.
Okay. This one I was aware of.
KIRO 7 has a breakdown. Yeah, this one people knew about. It's been they've been floating this for a number of years, and it finally made its way through. But it's and I would love your take on this one.
Sure.
We may have a different opinion on this, but I don't know. This is from KIRO 7. Establishes new legal labor protections for approximately 100,000 employees across Washington. Guarantees a minimum wage, overtime pay, formal written agreements for domestic workers. It says it protects workers from labor harassment and discrimination while ensuring that they have the right to return to their positions with back pay if they are unlawfully fired. So how does that break down? Basically, they say domestic workers, if they are unlawfully fired, will have the right to return to their positions with back pay and interest. Repeat violations of the law can result in penalties of up to $20,000. The bill would require that workers earn at least 1 hour of sick leave for every 40 hours worked.
Okay.
What do you think of this one? Good, bad?
I think it's good. I think it's this is a segment of the labor force that has been kind of under the table for a lot of folks, a lot of agreements. It kind of makes it harder to do that. Because now these folks have to have the protections, or at least now they're entitled by law to the protections.
So these would be like nannies, child care providers,
house cleaners, right?
Housekeepers,
cleaners, gardeners,
landscapers,
right?
Cleaners.
Yeah.
Let's see what else they say here. Household managers, they say these different things.
Well, you got to pay them a minimum wage. You got to pay them overtime when they work over 40 or whatever the schedule is. Yeah, I like this.
This one, I understand why it sounds appealing, but I think it's going to have an unintended negative consequence.
Do you think it's going to drive more people under the table?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Do you ever hire a gardener?
Once, yeah.
You
okay,
do?
A landscaper, not a gardener. So a tree removal guy, maybe. Is that going to fall under this thing too?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
So would you be in that case? Are you the employer of that guy, or are you just like a client? Somebody's hired to work for you. Let's say it's a 5-hour job. Are you their client, or are you now their employer?
Oh, that's a great question. I think I'm a client.
You are now the employer. If I read this correctly, you would now be the employer of that person.
Ooh.
So that's where I think you're going to run into an issue.
Okay. That's okay. So that's a great designation or delineation of this. Is that person work solely for me?
Well, no.
Or does that person work a gig work for 10 different households?
They don't. But here's the thing: if they work for you if I read this correctly, and again, I could be off on this one, but if I read this correctly, if they work for you for 4 hours a month,
okay, well, yeah,
you are now their employer, which would then entitle them to, let's say that they feel like you wrongfully terminated them from a job.
Okay.
They could seek damages against you for $20,000 if this is correct, and I could be wrong on this, but that's what it feels like to me. Also, you would have to supply them with, if let's say that person comes back and works for you, you're putting in a bunch of new trees in your yard.
Okay.
You want to have a bunch of
I want to put arborvitae up because I hate my neighbor.
Some arbor vitae you're putting in.
Yeah, is that the
or vitis, whatever it is.
I like it. Yeah.
So you're putting in arbor, whatever it is, and they're going to come back and it's going to take them, 40 hours.
Okay.
You now are as the employee, that's a few weekends, they're working 8-hour days.
Yeah.
You would also now have to provide them sick leave. So they'd earn, for every 40 hours they work for you, you would have to pay them an hour of sick leave.
8 hour, or an hour a day?
Just an hour for every 40 hours.
Okay.
But these are typically not considerations that one would think of when you're hiring people to work for you. And because you would now be open to the liability that an employer takes on when you hire an employee for something like workers' comp or whatever it might be, like somebody who feels like they were wrongfully terminated, back pay, if they felt like, hey, you know what, I'm deserving of back pay. And the penalty for multiple violations would be $20,000. So here's what I think is going to be what people start to do. I, in this case, would not hire one person for more than 4 hours. Like if I found somebody that was really good, I couldn't hire him for more than 4 hours.
Cap at 3, because that way I don't know you. I hear you.
And I would also probably be more likely to start working with a service than an individual. Like there's a lot of people that I know who hire individuals who get word around. They say, hey, you know what? I know somebody who's really great at babysitting. I mean, babysitters are hard to find.
Right.
Who's really good at babysitting. Let me give you their reference, and they're great.
Yeah.
If that person now becomes your employee, I would rather they have like a maid's. Think about like all the maid services.
We found a house cleaner. We use her once a month or so.
Wouldn't you rather now go through a maid service who is her technical employer?
Taking on the responsibility of her as an employer.
They have the liability if any of these things
I probably would.
So I think for me, maybe it's well-intentioned. I don't know. I think it's probably trying to shove people into unions. That's my personal take. But my take would be, I actually think this is going to make it harder for the individual who doesn't want to work. Maybe somebody wants to be their own boss and doesn't want to work for
a service.
Who
takes a cut.
who takes a cut.
Yeah.
Doesn't this kind of make business harder for them?
Yeah, for that segment of it, sure.
If I'm reading it correct, and I may not be, but that's what I read it, and I went, I don't know if that helps anybody.
I mean, I know I got to give our house cleaner her travel papers back. Says I can't do that anymore.
Were you?
I'm kidding.
You were holding on to
But
them?
that's part of this, because there are people who are doing that. You find somebody, they work under the table, you got their papers, they can't quit because you're holding their papers.
I don't know this would be the case, but that already sounds illegal. So I don't know if this is providing a new protection.
Well, now it's written down that you can't do that. You got to give them a service agreement. You got to sign a contract with them.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, who knows if it's going to do more harm than good. My suspicion is it might do more harm, but we'll see. All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
The John Curley Show.
When people sit there and they see people with the American flag and they're utterly disgusted because they associate the flag and USA with Donald Trump, don't do that. You're doing yourself an amazing disservice.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
You could dislike Donald Trump, but you can still love America. It's like discounting Photograph from Nickelback, which is actually a pretty good song. Think of the fact that you love this country, and what you love about it is it's inclusive. Good. Include others.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
High five! Up top! Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Heck yeah! He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread. Yes! The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A Scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about Scouting.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
John Curley here. Last year was one of the hottest on record. Did you know a heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you efficient heating and cooling year-round for the price of paying for air conditioning? Don't wait. Call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance. HomeComfortAlliance.com.
All right, welcome back to the show. I have a weird story to tell you. This is a guy went missing. I'm going to tell you about it in just a second. Older guy went missing in New Mexico, and now there is a strange UFO tie, which is part of the investigation, which is kind of interesting. But before we get to that, I neglected
This is the conspiracy?
This is not the conspiracy theory.
Okay, because you never got to that. And I want to hear
the conspiracy theory was supposed to dovetail into this, but we ran out of time. My conspiracy theory, a lot of bills went through during this very short legislative session.
Yeah.
Like a lot of stuff, like the one we talked about like nobody even knew that they were talking about supportive housing or basically housing for
any neighborhood in the city.
Any neighborhood that's going to get signed
in the state.
In the state.
That's I had no idea. We never touched on that.
Nobody ever talked about it. And now it's going to get signed into law. Like it could be in your neighborhood.
You think they sandbagged that one, kept it quiet?
No, but what I'm wondering is, I wonder if this whole big thing on the income tax, I'm kind of secretly hoping this is true, although I don't think it's true. What if the income tax was this Trojan horse that was being talked about and endlessly debated and got everybody's hackles up? Because we all are looking at it, not everybody, but a lot of people look at it and go, this is so crazy. Why would they do something that's going to be so damaging to Washington businesses in the long term?
That's an overwhelming now consensus, I think.
It's a big story. Yeah. Everybody's looking this way. And while the other side, while on the other side that nobody was looking at, they snuck through all these other bills that nobody was even thinking about, like the supportive housing in neighborhoods.
Huh.
Because until that bill gets signed by Ferguson, could just be fairy dust. It could be nothing.
It's
if
3
he
years,
decides not to sign it.
Well, or even if he signs it, it's 3 years away. It's got court challenges coming. It's got maybe an initiative to overturn it at the ballot box coming.
Yeah.
It may, like I said, it may never see the light of my pocket.
This is total wishful thinking.
Sure.
I'm hoping, I'm praying that it doesn't go through for all the destructive reasons
They floated that out there knowing it would never get to law, so they could run this other stuff without attention.
In all likelihood, they did it
because they want money.
Earnestly, because
they're bad with money and
they have
want
bad
more.
ideas and they do bad idea things. That's probably the case. But I'm hoping secretly, like maybe on the side, there's a little tiny bit of them that was like, what if we do this totally stupid thing that's obviously never going to pass because everybody hates it and it's a bad idea, in order to sneak through all this other stuff. But that's just a conspiracy theory. Time will tell.
Time will tell.
We'll find out. All right, here's another one, and it's getting a lot of people talking about it as a conspiracy, but I don't know. This one doesn't sound quite so crazy.
So there's a guy missing in Albuquerque?
There's a guy whose name is William McCaslin. He's 68 years old. There is an alert out for him now. There's a silver alert for him, which I didn't realize is anybody over the age of, do you know this?
65?
50.
50? I've been eligible for a dozen years.
It's like finding out that you suddenly qualify for AARP. You're just like, that's too young.
Right? 50?
It's 50.
For a silver alert?
For a silver alert. If you go missing, it's not an amber alert. It's not a whatever alert. It's silver alert is for, because I assume silver alerts are like very old people, oftentimes cognitive issues or something, or maybe dementia.
That's why they call it silver.
They wander off, and
it's 50 now, huh?
It's 50.
Do you know when it was initiated? It was 30. Back in the 1780s, yeah.
Silver alerts?
Yeah, because people only lived to 40 then.
Oh, that's true.
So by the time you hit 30, you were considered old. And they were made of actual silver.
30 was literally middle age.
Yeah. They made of real silver. They would ring them.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so this
know
guy.
Your history, buddy. Makes you a better man.
I got to learn my history. If you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it. So what happened here is this was in New Mexico. There's a guy, again, William McCaslin, 68 years old.
Former Air Force general?
Former general. And he has gone missing. He's been missing now for 2 weeks, and the FBI has gotten involved, and they're looking for this guy. But the reason it turns into talking about it from the conspiracy theory perspective is because this guy, he became a general while he was in the Air Force. And his job was to be in charge of an Air Force base. I'm going to get the name of this Air Force base right so I don't mess it up. What was the name of the Air Force base he was at? I'm butchering this. Where is it? Air Force Base. Why can't I find it? Okay. Long career Air Force Base, Air Force Research Lab at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, which apparently is where they keep the remains of the Roswell crash from 47.
In New Mexico?
In Ohio.
Oh, in Ohio?
The New Mexico crash from 47
Area
has been
51
moved.
is a Trojan horse?
Well,
I mean...
No, it's in Ohio.
Okay.
Area 51's real, by the way.
Okay. Well, not if they're keeping the remains in Ohio.
But
we're looking over here.
But some of the remains...
dissecting them over there.
Some of the remains might be in Ohio. So he was there at that time, and then after he retired from the military...
He moved to the Southwest. Okay.
He then started as a consultant with some UFO researchers And now people are saying, was he taken for what he knows? Is he being held hostage for what he knows? His wife actually had to put out a statement about this. She says Neil does not have any special knowledge about the ET bodies and debris from the Roswell crash. She stored it right pat.
Let him go. He doesn't know anything.
He doesn't know anything.
Wow.
And she then disassociates with the people that he was consulting for.
Okay.
And she's saying he's not part of that. Don't hold him responsible for that. He doesn't know anything. If you have him, let him go. Isn't that wild?
Are we sure he's on the planet? I'm just saying.
I don't know.
How far does Silver Alerts broadcast? Do they go out? Not just around the highway
That's a
system?
great question.
I mean, here's a guy, right?
Not beyond.
Here's a guy that, he knows them. They know him.
He knows something. He might know something. All right. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around. Be right back.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Dr. Mark Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, including mine, at Seattle Sports Regenerative Medicine. And we've interviewed over 100 of Dr. Wagner's patients, and we hear the same things. It changed my life. I'm back to doing the activities I love without pain. It really works. It's remarkable.
We love helping people get back to living life to the fullest and doing the things they enjoy most.
They also must really enjoy not having the pain and recovery time with surgery.
Stem cell therapy is a 60-minute non-surgical, minimally invasive procedure to eliminate pain, regenerate cartilage, treat tendon and ligament tears, osteoarthritis, and chronic tendonitis.
And you only use the patient's own stem cells.
That's right, their body's own stem cells.
So whether it's a hip like me, an elbow, shoulder, or knee.
Don't forget ankles, wrists, and thumbs.
Yep, those patients too. Before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD first. Learn more at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Insulation rebates from PSE are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSE insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSE trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at amazonbusiness.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. A man is dead after police say he rammed his vehicle through the doors and down a hallway at one of the largest synagogues in the country. It happened earlier this afternoon at Temple Israel in West Bloomfield Township, Michigan. CBS's Anna Schechter.
A vehicle was rammed into the synagogue and shots were fired. It appears that a shooter was shooting and a security guard who almost immediately neutralized the suspect.
Who is dead. Two law enforcement sources tell CBS News the suspect's body is badly burned, complicating identification. And there were mortar-type explosives in the vehicle. Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard.
We want to assure the community it doesn't appear to be anything active.
An investigation is underway after a shooting at the Old Dominion University's business school this morning. ODU Chief of Police Garrett Shelton announces.
We're aware of 3 victims, all of which are ODU affiliated, and a suspect who is deceased.
One of the 3 victims has died. The university president says the school is closed through tomorrow. The price of gas and diesel has been steadily rising since the war with Iran began. Brent crude prices have closed above $100 a barrel, a first since 2022. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
Everyone that I'm talking to says 3 weeks is really the mark where you could see the next big increase, because when oil supply is constricted for that long, that's when you're going to see people get even more anxious about things.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel is crushing Iran and Hezbollah, but CBS's Matt Gutman in Tel Aviv says of Iran.
Analysts tell us that over the past 72 hours, they have really taken control over the narrative and the pace and the way that this war is being fought, essentially forcing the U.S. to either come to some sort of deal or pour even more resources into the Strait of Hormuz, into the Persian Gulf in order to, quote, open it up.
NASA's long-delayed launch of the Artemis II mission, part of the U.S. push to return to the moon by 2028, could come as soon as April 1st. Technical difficulties delayed a launch originally expected in February. CBS's Jim Krasula has the latest on another round of severe weather.
The damage assessment and cleanup are underway in the small southern Oklahoma town of Mansville after it was hit by a suspected tornado. Diana Braley lives in the community of 750 people.
The sound was terrible, and I got to the front door, and I couldn't even open my glass door. There was so much suction.
Storms from the same weather system claimed 1 life and left several others hurt in Lawrence County, Mississippi. A confirmed tornado earlier in the week claimed 2 lives in northeastern Indiana. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
Stocks closed sharply lower, with the Dow falling 739 points. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here? How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60.
An update on some of last night's storm damage coming up after we visit Lori at the KIRO Newsradio Traffic Desk.
Traffic is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Linwood to Seattle now just a 2-minute slowdown, a 19-minute drive after an accident cleared at 164th. Everett to Bellevue, you're going to see a 3-minute delay at 29 minutes. 410 has reopened after being closed overnight. Now, if you're heading over I-90, Traction Tires advised also they're having some power outage issues, so the chain up signs and all those are dark right now, so keep that in mind if you're heading over the pass. Chains required on US 2. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Utility crews continue to make progress bringing power back online for tens of thousands of customers. Andrew Padula is with Puget Sound Energy.
Numerous tree limbs into our lines. There are some locations where we have had damage to substations and areas where poles have been taken out completely, which means we'll have to replace all of that. I believe that we had about 65,000 outages kind of at the peak of this storm.
That number is now down to just over 15,000, with close to 11,000 of those right here in King County. The storm that ripped through our region overnight has claimed a life. In Monroe, a tree fell onto a car, crushing it and killing the person inside. This happened around 8:30 on Florence Acres Road, just off Old Owen Road, parallel to Highway 2. This woman lives nearby and tells KIRO 7 TV she heard it happen.
6 or 7 cars went through before there was like a bang and then a big flash of light. And I was like, oh, maybe a transformer blew. Then I heard the sirens.
No one else was in the car. The victim's identity has not been released. For the first time ever, Washington has an income tax. Lawmakers gave final approval yesterday with a 9.9% tax on income over $1 million. The Washington Observer's Paul Query tells Seattle's Morning News he noticed a substantial shift to the left among Democrats this session.
When I arrived here in 2001 to cover Olympia for the Associated Press, that kind of thing would have just been unthinkable. And even sort of mentioning it or filing a bill, to do something like that, would have been tantamount to political suicide in most parts of the state.
Governor Bob Ferguson says he'll sign the bill in the coming weeks. Downtown Seattle is seeing steady momentum. 15 million people visited downtown in 2025, surpassing pre-pandemic levels for the second consecutive year. John Scholes is president and CEO of the Downtown Seattle Association.
I believe never before has it been more important for downtowns to be thriving and vibrant places. But I also believe it's true that downtowns perhaps have never been more optional.
According to the annual State of Downtown Seattle report, nearly 13,000 downtown Seattle jobs were lost, and office vacancy is at 25%. And now your KIRO News Radio weather. Another wet day in store with a high sticking around the mid-40s. Heavy snow for the mountains. A break from the rain right now. Cloudy and 46 over downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio with your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
All right, welcome back to the show. 1 hour down, 2 hours to go. We talk fast because we just have so much we have to cover. We're not going to have any time to do it. 3 hours. People think that 3 hours would feel like a long time to fill with stuff, and it's not.
It's not.
We never have enough time to get to what we're talking about. Mostly because we're just talking about how we don't have enough time. Stupid joke. All right, let's get to some of this stuff.
Kind, man. What do you got?
Let's get to some of this stuff. I'm going to butcher this last name. John Scholes. Is that right? CEO? Downtown Seattle Association President and CEO John Scholes?
I think it's Scholes.
Is it Scholes?
I think it's Scholes.
Okay, I butchered it. I was right. Listen to this simple statement that he made, and I want you to tell me if you think it's sound in reason or if it's unreasonable. We don't need more business taxes in Seattle. We need more businesses in Seattle paying taxes.
Is that like a tongue twister?
It's not a tongue twister. It's a simple phrase. It almost sounds like a haiku, but it's not. We don't need more taxes in Seattle. We don't need more business taxes in Seattle. We need more businesses in Seattle paying taxes.
I think he's got it.
By George, I think he's got it. So they had a meeting, the Downtown Seattle Association, which I hear, according to the different sites that I read this news at, Mayor Katie Wilson was at. Unfortunately, she left before this guy was able to get up and say the sensible things that hopefully she would hear. We talked yesterday about Katie Wilson pushing a new levy for Seattle libraries.
Yeah.
A $410 million?
$410 million levy. $415 maybe.
$415.
No, $410. The expiring levy is $215. That expires this year. It was a 6-year levy, 7-year levy.
So it's north of 400.
$410. $410.
400 and
covering
change.
7 years.
Yeah. And we went through, if you guys missed it and you don't have the podcast, you should go get it.
Book by book, chapter by chapter.
Piece by piece, and we figured out where's all this money going, because $400 million, you hear that and you go, that's a lot of dough. That's a lot of cash. And obviously that money would have to come from taxpayers, and that's where it doesn't fund the entire library system. I think.
No, about 1/3, I think it said, comes from a levy.
That's right.
A voter-supported levy, which is how we all want it to be, right? We make the decisions as residents
where
our money goes.
Until yesterday.
That's the state point, yeah.
So anyway, but he's saying Downtown Seattle Association, we don't need more business taxes in Seattle. We need more businesses in Seattle paying taxes, which I think is spot on. But the graphic behind him when he was giving this speech, I thought was really interesting. And did you see this? So, okay, jobs lost in Seattle. Jobs in Seattle are down 1.3%.
Mm-hmm.
This is from the State Department of Revenue or wherever they got these stats. It's in there. 12% job growth in Bellevue. So Seattle has lost 1.3%. Bellevue has gained 12%. New Seattle business taxes, $1 billion in new Seattle business taxes. So these are $1 billion more dollars is now on the shoulders of businesses in Seattle, which probably explains why Bellevue is having such a nice time. Downtown office vacancy in Seattle is at 32%. I mean, I remember a time where everyone that I knew growing up, their parents worked downtown Seattle. I mean, except for the folks who worked at Boeing. There was like two big places. You worked at Boeing or you worked in Seattle. Like my dad, my entire life, until he started his own company, but for like 17 years of my childhood, my dad drove every single day from our house it was Everett at the time, down to downtown Seattle. He actually took a ride pool. Or is that what it's called? A
carpool.
He did one of those carpools.
Yeah.
Sometimes he would be on the bus. Coworkers. 17 years he went to downtown Seattle, and then he came back. And now their vacancy rate downtown is 32%.
The national average for corporate office vacancies in our cities is at 20.1% or 20.9. So roughly 20%.
So it's higher.
Yeah, big cities always have this. I think it's San Francisco is the highest number at like 37 or something like that. Or
sure.
Yeah. And then Houston, then Seattle's third in the nation in corporate vacancies in their city.
Building value, office building value. So, places where companies would rent and they would put their offices, they're down 58%. Office building values are down 58%. And it makes sense if you don't have businesses who want to rent space from you, then the building becomes, what are you doing with it?
Well, to John Scholes, I think we got it right now.
Scholes or Scholes?
I think it's Scholes.
Let's call it Scholes.
He's coming on with us at 12:30 tomorrow, so we can ask him soon.
We got 20 hours to learn this, 22 hours to learn this and get it right.
We probably still won't.
We have some homework.
I can pronounce the first part, John.
Without an H.
Yeah.
That's the problem. There's no H in his first name, but there's an H in his second name. See, that's where we screwed up.
Maybe that's a typo on their part.
Here's my point. There's a lot of factors to this. Taxation is clearly one of them.
Mm-hmm.
The city's environment is one of them. There's also a stat today that crime is down. Crime stats are down year to year in the city, so we're headed that in the right direction.
Sure.
I don't know if the taxation thing is also headed in the right direction. But we also had a story today about we're the number one city in America for losing tech jobs.
Yeah.
A lot of that contributed to downtown vacancies. A lot of that. There's a lot of different factors involved here.
I mean, that was a big part of the income tax discussion are you chasing away the businesses?
And everybody you've brought on some great guests that have all essentially the exact same fear.
We're going
if not the history of it happening. So let's not ignore history.
And what's the future outlook for these businesses?
Right.
Where are you going to grow your business?
Right.
Like I saw a post the other day, which was it rang very true to me. It may turn out to not be true, but it feels true. They said if you look back at the history of Seattle, like what are the businesses that really anchored Seattle and protected it in a way during times where the rest of the country was going through very harsh times?
Yeah.
Seattle was a little bit insulated because we have amazing industries here like Boeing. You look at your Microsofts, you look at your Amazons.
We were recession proof. Absolutely.
For a long time.
Yeah.
And a big chunk of that was because the business climate in Washington was very favorable to building businesses.
Yeah.
And this guy said, you're not going to see another big tech company be built in Seattle. It might start. There could still be people who are, obviously want to, you can't stop the American spirit.
Right, the innovative
wants to go out
spirit.
and be innovative.
Sure. Yeah.
Somebody might start something, but if they really want to get it to scale and they want to grow it, you wouldn't do it here because you're going to pay. You hit over a certain threshold, and $1 million is nothing for these companies.
I'm with you there.
That threshold is nothing.
Yeah.
You're going to hit a threshold where you're going to have this 10% penalty, 9.9, but let's call it 10, a 10% penalty. And then on top of that, you also have the B&O stuff. You also have the employee taxes, which they're pushing. That Sean Scott guy was saying that he was trying to reintroduce that for $130,000 and above. Was it, or maybe 135?
130.
Whatever it is, close to that. 130 is nothing in Seattle. I mean, folks think that that's a lot of money. That's just kind of a okay salary now. When I was a kid, a six-figure salary, you were living in a mansion. That's not the case anymore.
No, like I said, it's an antiquated reference point. But for me, when I was a kid, a millionaire was Jed Clampett from the Beverly Hillbillies.
100%.
You had you had a row of trees down your driveway with a big gate out front and a cement pond in the back.
You
Not
had
anymore.
a circular drive
yeah.
with a giant fountain.
Nowadays, you got $1 million. You're living in Ballard. You can smell what the guy next door is cooking because the house is so close to yours. And I'm not knocking Ballard or what the guy's cooking next door.
You're talking about a 1960s Rambler.
Right.
That's $1 million.
Exactly.
That's not Jed Clampett land.
That's my point.
And so these businesses were, like to John Skoll's point, don't make it harder for these businesses.
Yeah. Don't tax less. Don't tax fewer businesses. Get more businesses.
Let them grow. Get more people in here. Let them businesses thrive like they have been so that we don't find ourselves in 10 or 15 years looking back going like, man, isn't it strange that we have no big new tech companies here? And the tech companies that we did have here, they're not expanding here anymore. What was it, Amazon back in 2018? Amazon, because they got in that fight with the city council over a head tax.
Yep. Here comes Bellevue, looking good.
Why is it that they keep trying to repeat things? Why is it that they see a bad idea and they go, you know what? We just haven't tried it the way that it's going to work. Why can't they just admit it's a bad idea?
Well, because I've been saying this since the beginning of our conversations on this millionaire's tax, which is it signed today? It's done today?
I don't think
approved by the Senate, but hadn't been signed yet.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there'll be a parade through the streets of downtown with upwards of 50, maybe 75 people out there.
All on Ferguson's staff.
All on Ferguson's staff. I think it's the right idea, but just the wrong implementation. There's no guaranteed floor for it, even at $1 million. I said this to you right out of the gate. One of the first things I said should be a billionaire's tax. I made a joke about being just that one particular billionaire. Everybody's mad at Bill. But if it was a billionaire's tax and it was a 1% increase, these are the kind of the lofty who we think are the uber rich who will never miss it. I'm always playing that tune about how is 1 more percent of this guy's $250 billion going to impact his life in any way, shape, or form.
Sure.
It would make such a huge difference to the society that lives, shops, works, plays, works for this guy's company. But when you get down to $1 million, you're talking about the average Joe, the small business owner, the ethnic business owner. What was Mike's last name? He came on with us. Salito. He said, how many ethnically owned businesses are not going to be able to start, let alone survive?
Yeah.
There's going to be no generational wealth being able to pass down from family to family to family, which had been the exclusive domain of the Caucasian American businessman forever. That was thinking about generational wealth. That's why there was redlining. It's why you couldn't start businesses up until the last 50, 70 years maybe in this country, if I'm being generous.
I disagree with you on the billionaire thing, though. I do have to say, I don't feel bad for billionaires. It's like that old saying, never feel bad for a millionaire. Now I would raise that bar. Never feel bad for a billionaire. They've got a lot of money. They're just not going to pay it. So you can, all day long, you can say, wouldn't it be great if we just take 1%? Now, this wouldn't do that. They're trying to take 10%.
Right, from you, me, and Joe.
But even if this applies to anybody who makes over $1 million. So this is also a billionaire's tax, right? So it is. It's
they
a
don't cut it. They don't
tax.
cut it off at $990 million. If I could just make that $1 more million, I'm free.
But the thing is, they're not going to pay it. Look at Howard Schultz. He just left.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons he left is because taxes are heavy here. If he were to die here, his tax would be 35% of his estate, which to me is crazy talk. That's insane. He's already paid taxes on that estate. Think about how. Doesn't an estate tax to you, by the way? I mean, you may not feel this way. I do. It feels immoral to me.
The death tax?
The death tax.
Yeah.
You have already...
Money you've already been taxed on.
You've already been taxed on. You've accrued the money. You've been smart. Whatever you've done, God bless you. You've been able to put some money aside. 35%? Once you're dead, they're going to reach into your pocket, your dead pocket, and take that money from your kids?
From your kids, from your grandkids, from whatever. Yeah.
That feels wrong to me.
What
Isn't that the American dream, to leave something behind?
What I hate about it is the loopholes are only for the wellest to do. Because you can hide your money in a trust. There are mechanisms to hide your money that are available to only the upper echelons of the society.
I hear what you're saying. It's not only available; they're the ones who have money to hide. Yeah, people who don't have as much money, they're not doing loopholes because they're not.
There's not enough to.
What are they going to hide?
Well, they're the only ones paying though, because the other guys can hide it.
Well,
right? Am I wrong? Maybe I'm understanding of the entirety of the situation.
Well, no, they're not taking income in the same way. They still pay taxes on things, but they're not taking income in the same way.
They're paid on stock bonuses or whatever it might be, the deferred payments, yada yada.
And then they take out loans. There's certain ways you can get around things. There's legal loopholes that everybody employs when they can.
Right.
But you take a guy like you, if the bill, just in principle, if you were to say, let's take billionaires' money, let's just target billionaires, then they just all do what Howard Schultz did. He just bought a $44 million condo in Miami. He could have bought that condo here. $44 million would have done a lot for the local community. He would have paid taxes on that.
You'd probably have to buy a couple and knock a wall out. I don't think we have a $44 million condo.
We probably don't. Yeah, you're totally right. We probably don't. He lives in like a, almost $50 million apartment in Four Seasons or something with a beautiful view.
Yeah.
All of that is going to be money. Jeff Bezos, when they chased him out over the capital gains, Washington lost hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, they didn't gain a penny from him. So the principle of let's just take it from the billionaires, nice thought. I don't feel bad for billionaires, but they're not going to pay it, and then you lose money.
Yeah, am I wrong? Because and you know me, I'm a socialist at heart. I'm bordering on communism.
You know what? I don't think you are actually. I don't think you're actually a socialist at heart. Because if I were to talk to you about any of these things, and then you were to express your actual thoughts, you'd go like, nah, you're right. That's
and I've come around a lot of these issues because you've been patient with me.
You often express things to me
like
where
I'm a
I was
5-year-old.
Like, that's not a socialist thought. That makes total sense.
I mean, I don't think there should be states where you can be tax havens. I don't think you should be able to go to Texas or Florida or Montana.
What are you, a socialist?
Exactly. See what I'm saying? At heart, I mean, the problem.
Why is that? Why?
Well, the reason that people don't contribute to the tax base at the numbers they used to, okay, is because now. I mean, I get states' rights. I get all that. That's why you live where you want to live. That's what we're talking about. Him moving to Florida.
Yeah.
But when you make all your money here, because this is where the climate was, this is where your employees wanted to live, this is where the different attributes that made your business thrive. You make all your money, then instead of paying back into the society that helped grow you, you rip it out and you move it to Florida because it's a safe haven.
Or you could look at it another way. You could say the society that you're talking about is demanding too much. They become entitled. They think that your money is their money.
Well, it's like repotting a plant, right? It grew here, but the pot's too small now. You got to put it in a bigger pot or it dies. Is that
I'm not much of a botanist.
Okay.
I guess I kind of understand what you're saying.
You ever had to repot a plant because it got too big for its britches?
Again, I kill a lot of plants.
Okay.
I overwater them, and then they all die.
I got a black thumb, too. Don't feel bad. Anywho.
What I think though is what you're saying is you don't believe places like Miami should be able to offer a lower tax rate.
I think so. Yeah, I think if corporate giants paid the same tax rate from sea to shining sea, right? Then the things that made an area attractive to business wouldn't be just keeping more of my money and paying less into road, schools, and healthcare.
The problem with that is that's like. It diminishes competition. I think competition is probably good. I mean, not probably. I know the competition is good, and it gives you better options, give me better options.
Yeah, but to a point. But competition also has to be checked by government. Otherwise, why do we have antitrust laws? Why are there laws against monopolies? Right? Competition is good to a point where it can be.
I understand what you're saying, but like an antitrust and somebody moving to Florida because they're overtaxed.
I know there are different issues, my point being there are times when government oversight for competition. I mean, say you got a meat company, you can sell your meat a lot cheaper if you stop, cleaning the floors at night or putting protective glassware up in front of the saws that cut the thing up. It's going to give you a higher profit margin, better capitalism.
Well, but that's not true actually, because then you're going to get people sick, and then they're going to find that your product makes them sick.
That's the market curing itself, right?
Yeah. So that would be a capitalist argument.
Okay. Well, but my argument was for government oversight on. Not business, not just being unchecked. I don't think anybody's arguing that businesses should be unchecked. A lot of people are.
I don't think so.
Not you, but sure there are, man.
So they're
stripping out the EPAs, they're stripping out for pollution, for worker safety.
I don't think overchecking is healthy. Like you and I were just talking over the commercial break, this new law trying to stop people from pocket listing homes.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea?
I see the upside in so much that you are making the availability to live anywhere you want available to anybody who wants to do that.
Okay.
But there's a downside that you don't get to sell your home to who you want to sell it to. Is that the fear of it?
Well, you can still sell your home to who you want to, but it forces you now to pay more money to list your home through a service like the MLS.
To open it up to anyone.
To open it up to anybody who wants.
I think it's probably a good thing.
I disagree.
That's
I think
fair.
it's the government stepping in or creating, like in Skagit or wherever it was, creating a new category where they say, hey, we're going to rate your home for your climate friendliness.
For climate safety. Or for
and
climate,
we're going to force you to get an assessment from somebody that works for us. And if you don't do it, you're not legally allowed to sell your property. Do you think that's a good idea?
I think it takes the responsibility of doing your due diligence off the buyer and puts it on the seller. The state's doing it. Yeah, that's a bit of an overreach for me. That's a nanny state kind of a moment for me.
Those to me all speak to the same thing, which is why I think a guy like Howard Schultz leaves. I don't think he cares about the value of, getting his home checked for climate stuff. But it is about a state trying to tell him, your property is actually our property. And that feels wrong to me. He built that. He's already contributing a lot.
Yeah.
And he probably is looking at Washington State going, you guys aren't really good at spending the vast amounts of money I'm sending your way. And that makes me mad. And now you're telling me, do you want more of my money?
Yeah.
And that makes me more
mad. You're no longer
mad.
the community I grew this business in.
Yeah. So I am very happy for states that have better tax rates because it keeps places like Washington in check. Washington can only get so crazy because you know what? We got Idaho right there. Yeah. You can go across the border into Idaho and you can live a much more financially friendly life.
Yeah.
Lawmakers have to look at that and go like, hey, you know what? We can't go too crazy over here because Idaho is going to steal all of our people. So I think that's a good thing. Ultimately.
You don't think it's about his grandkids, huh? You really don't think that's it?
For
Schultz? He said
he
it was
just
going
wants
to
to
be
see his
close to his
grandkids?
grandkids. That's what he said.
I don't know about that. That might be part of it. Maybe he wants to leave them more money.
There you go. Oh, there you go.
Good for him.
Oh, he's thinking ahead.
I love these conversations. These are fun. All right. We got a lot more coming up. Stick around. When we get back, what do we think about press passes? Brandy Cruz and all, they didn't get their press passes. Seattle Times has a piece on it. We'll talk about it. Stick around.
This hour is brought to you by Insulation Northwest.
The John Curley Show.
When people sit there and they see people with the American flag and they're utterly disgusted because they associate the flag and USA with Donald Trump, don't do that. You're doing yourself an amazing disservice.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
You could dislike Donald Trump, but you can still love America. It's like discounting Photograph from Nickelback, which is actually a pretty good song. Think of the fact that you love this country, and what you love about it is it's inclusive. Good. Include others.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Think about this. In 2006, $20,000 equaled roughly 33 ounces of gold at the spot price. At today's prices, those 33 ounces would be worth over $150,000. Smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals. That's why I buy gold from Birch Gold Group. It's a crucial part of my balanced strategy. Gives me peace of mind given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you too. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold help you diversify with gold. Now that's peace of mind. Text Dan to 989898. Again, text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 today. Message and data rates apply.
Life's expensive enough, isn't it?
groceries, gas, kids' activities. Sometimes your roof needs replacing, but your budget says not now. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. We want to help with an offer to lift that weight off your shoulders. Get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Or save up to $3,000 on a new roof today. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do now that could make your savings go twice as far in retirement, and it's tax planning. That's right, tax planning could significantly reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Charlie Harger here. Find out how much money you could save with a free retirement tax savings analysis from the good people at Boss Retirement Solutions. To schedule your free analysis, call 206-210-1350. Tax planning for retirement could reduce your taxes not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. And the savings could be 6 figures. Let's find out how much money you could save. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Remember that time we were driving through France and for some reason we didn't have GPS?
Oh, for some reason? That reason would be that you didn't plug your phone in because you didn't have a charger.
Yeah, because I let you borrow my phone so you could call your mother, and you're on the phone for like 30 minutes telling her where we are. But that aside, we didn't know where we were going. We did fight a little bit because we didn't know where we were going. I think that Longevity Medical Clinic is like the GPS for us. They tell us which turns to make. They tell us which directions to go, right?
They do. And now I feel like the two of us together have a clear path and we have more control over our own health care.
Right, exactly. So you don't have to get out of the car and try to find information somewhere. It's all right there. As you're aging, all the little sort of turns you have to make in order to be able to have lots of energy and to enjoy your life. So for as far as I'm concerned, Longevity Medical Clinic is our GPS. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
Find your pot of gold at Lake Washington Windows and Doors with savings up to 20% on new windows and doors for your home. Plus, enjoy easy 12-month same as cash financing. Strike gold today. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com. Rolling Stone calls Victor Wooten one of the 10 greatest bassists of all time. Now he's bringing the Wooten brothers to Dimitro's Jazz Alley, March 19th through 22nd. 4 nights, 6 shows, pure funk. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. This morning, an armed man drove his car into the nation's largest Reform synagogue, killing one person. KIRO 7's Dee Sun has the latest.
One person is dead and another is hurt after a shooting inside a building at Old Dominion University in Norfolk this morning. The gunman is also dead. The victims were taken to a hospital. One later died. The other is in unknown condition. Police are working to find out what led up to the shooting.
Locally, a man arrested for shooting 3 people, killing one of them at a Kent gas station in 2021 has been found guilty. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lenzi reports.
This week, a jury convicted Joseph Burt Dixon of 1 count of first-degree murder and 2 counts of first-degree assault. In September of 2021, he went up to a car stopped at a Circle K gas station and opened fire. He shot Devin Hill in the head, killing him instantly. He wounded 2 other men in the car. One of them was a friend of his. They ran away. Dixon jumped in the car and took off with Hill's body still in the back seat. More than a week later, police caught up to Dixon, but he tried to ram cars, both police and civilian, to get away. Police shot him and took him into custody. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
An elaborate scam cost the Shoreline family $40,000. KIRO News Radio's Jason Sloss reports.
The job? Looking at videos online, then liking and sharing them to help social media influencers monetize their accounts.
Thus, we would be getting a cut of their monetization.
Daniel Hovland says his wife was getting paid through a digital account. Then he started doing it.
And it's not normal for a scam to pay you.
He says they would have to reinvest money to reach new earning levels. Hovland says it lasted for about 6 months. Then suddenly the company's website was gone, and through a chat room they were told they were fired. Then they realized their money was also gone.
A group of friends and family recruited into the scam lost $500,000. Average gas prices in Washington rose another 2 cents overnight. That's 30 cents in a week and almost 70 cents in a month. The average price of a gallon right now is $4.98 in King County, according to AAA. The national average is $3.50. On Wall Street, Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ all down sharply as oil prices spike. Private credit worries rise, and the Dow closes down 640 points. S&P 500 down 94, and the NASDAQ down 380 points. And now let's hand it over to the KIRO News Radio traffic desk with Lori.
So much better than yesterday. Seattle to Everett right now, we're looking at a 29-minute drive. Bellevue to Everett, 31 minutes. That's about a 4-minute slowdown. If you're heading from Federal or heading to Federal Way from Bellevue, yesterday it was over an hour. Now it's just a half an hour, just a minute delay. Federal Way to Tacoma, an easy 9-minute drive. Repairs to the 99 First South Bridge will continue through Friday evening at midnight. If you're heading over the passes, traction tires are advised on 90, chains required on US 2. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. Scattered rain showers across the region this afternoon, highs hovering in the mid-40s. Right now, just a light drizzle and 46 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Welcome back to the show. This was an interesting thing that we were kind of watching. Obviously, we have an interest in this because we're in the arena of media coverage and news and all of that stuff. But there was this court case that was going on with Brandy Cruz, Ari Hoffman, who is a radio host here in town. It's called The Ari Hoffman Show. And then Jonathan Cho, who is he does a bunch of stuff on, I've only ever seen him online, but he does other media appearances and stuff, but he's usually out there with a camera filming.
Guerrilla journalist, I don't mean that pejorative.
No, that's fine. I would describe them all in the kind of the new media landscape.
Sure.
Not traditional. You think of like traditional media, like radio would be one, TV would be one, newspapers would be one.
The evolution of platforms, the evolution for information delivery is ongoing.
Yes. So those three specifically, and I don't know of any others, but those three, Brandy, Jonathan, and Ari, were all denied press passes to cover what was happening. And obviously this has been a huge story, with the state legislature taking on income taxes and supportive housing in any neighborhood that you want to go in. They denied these three press passes because they said that they were not journalists.
Okay.
And instead were advocates for different causes, and they said it makes them not journalists anymore, so they didn't have to issue them press passes. So Brandy and Jonathan and Ari took them to court and filed an emergency restraining order. If I'm getting all this correct, I might be wrong.
No, I think you're spot on. We've been covering this for a couple of weeks now. Yeah.
Emergency restraining order. To try to get, with only a few days left in the legislative session, get access to the areas where journalists are given access. And so if you, like, for instance, in the House, where they just had that 24-hour debate.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Normal folks can go and watch from the outskirts. Journalists have a dedicated table in the room where they can be watching, they can be documenting things, they can be, writing their news stories. That table was empty. For a large portion of that 24 hours. I didn't see any journalists there. There was, in fact, the only people who were taking pictures of the journalist of the press designated area empty were Brandy and Ari Hoffman, Jonathan Cho in the wings from a distance.
Sure.
Because they weren't given access to that area. So anyway, a judge said this. The judge who gave his ruling, his name is David Estudio, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, U.S. District Judge David Estudio. He says in his ruling that the group failed to show, this is from Seattle Times, show that they were denied passes because of their political affiliations, which he says would be a violation of their First Amendment rights, and failed to show that the process was arbitrary, which would have violated their due process rights. So he's saying, he knows that they were denied press passes, but he's saying that they failed to show how it violates their rights. Why not just give them press passes? I mean, this whole thing, who cares if Brandy Cruz and Jonathan Cho and Ari Hoffman have a press pass?
I thought that
I think of them as press.
The last I heard about this was a week or so ago, week and a half ago, that the Republicans in the state legislature were going to issue them press passes. And I
remember seeing that story too, that they were going to try to figure out another way to get press passes.
Get them access. Okay, yeah.
But they weren't given press passes, and Apparently, this says, let's see, Democrat-controlled Washington House of Representatives declined to issue press credentials that would have granted the 3 accesses from Seattle Times. This part's confusing me, so
sure.
Please explain this, man. I don't get this. Denied them the 3 access to parts of the Capitol that are off limits to the general public. The body said that they were not bona fide journalists because they are participants in the political arena, which I wouldn't disagree with.
Sure.
Advocating for certain agendas and hosting of speaking at rallies. And then the judge says, in his decision, he says they failed to show that they were denied passes because of their political affiliations. And my question is, if the House is specifically saying we're denying them press passes because they are in the political arena, and the judge is saying you're not getting your press passes and you've not proven that you were denied it because of politics, which again would be a First Amendment issue, it sounds to me like that's exactly what happened.
From what I understand of this, the judge's ruling was that when someone is a lobbyist or an activist, paid political activist, I think Ari is involved in who's the petition movement? That
Let's Go Washington.
He's a paid spokesperson and leads rallies for that particular cause. Brandy works for an organization. Is it 42? What's it?
Future 42 is another company that's
which
been
is
critical of some of these.
Well, not just critical, but it's a politically motivated platform.
Yeah.
And I get it. That's fine.
They think they were kind of leading the way on income tax stuff. They said income tax we think is a very bad idea.
Yeah,
Future 42, and
so
Brandy does sponsored posts, I believe. For them. I could be wrong about that, but
that's
I don't know.
in the states, in the judge's eyes at least, because that's who made this ruling. The judge ruled that at that point they're not unbiased journalists. You can't just take off your commentator hat or your advocate hat to be a journalist when you want to be a journalist and then still go in there and be a lobbyist or an activist.
Well, they're not lobbyists.
Well,
even Seattle Times acknowledges
no.
corrected their story.
I don't mean them as lobbyists, but lobbyists are also not allowed to have press credentials because they have an agenda, a political agenda.
Well,
and the judge ruled that
press.
these guys also have a political agenda to the point of their commentary shows or their podcasts or their reporting from the field, as in Jonathan Cho. Right. So, I mean, it's like, you journalists, the press get press credentials. Brandy has said on numerous occasions, I'm not a journalist. I'm a commentator. Numerous occasions. So, I mean, you really can't have it both ways. And I don't begrudge them their political viewpoints or their commentary. It's like we had this conversation last time. I told you, we're an opinion show. I'm a commentator. I'm not a journalist. I wouldn't expect a press credential.
I'd give you a press credential.
But I understand the difference between an unbiased journalist. And I don't think any of these guys can call themselves unbiased.
Well, they certainly have political points of view.
Yeah.
I would say the same for Seattle Times. Wouldn't you?
That's a great question.
Wouldn't you say the Seattle Times has a particular point of view?
From their editorial perspective,
so
yes.
why do those people get press passes?
Well, because
doesn't?
I think that journalists have an accountability commitment to deliver both sides of an issue without spin or biased. And I'm not saying the Times doesn't have a spin or bias. That's why I said it's a great question. It's a great question.
Okay.
We last time we brought this up, we spoke about the members of the KIRO Newsroom. From Aaron Granillo to Luke Ducey to you name them. They're out there. They're all out there. James Lynch, they do a great job, and they don't bring their they don't bring their opinions to the stories that they cover. Then I guess the judge decided that these three in particular couldn't make the designation between their job to be an activist for a point of view or a commentator for a particular point of view.
The judge says the court acknowledges that both parties have a legitimate interest at stake here. He then said, but yeah, they failed to show, they denied press pass.
They couldn't show harm.
Failed to show that the process was arbitrary, which would have violated their due process rights.
That they picked those 3 out in particular. They said,
to me,
somebody who's a left-wing commentator with a left-wing agenda also wouldn't be allowed a press pass, right?
There's no way in a million years that they would deny a left-wing.
I don't know. I don't know if that's
it's a Democrat-run house. Why would they do that?
If someone isn't showing a non-bias and unbiased opinions, and I'm in there just to rah for the state income tax, I don't think I would deserve a press pass.
Lawyer for the House said they were confident that any future litigation would end the same conclusion. They said that the press pass policy complies with the Constitution, protects the lawmakers' working space. We all know how much they care about the Constitution in our state. The group was not denied passes because of their viewpoints, but because they were activists for political causes, not independent monitors. They were not denied because of their viewpoints. I think that's exactly why they were denied, in my opinion.
That's fair.
It seems to me like they didn't like their viewpoints, and so they tried to keep them out.
Well, no, the attorney that took their case feels the exact same way.
Yeah.
And he knows the law a lot better than you or I does, so your point is,
Jackson
well
Maynard
represented.
says they're still going to press forward and see what happens.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Well, I think it was a bad idea for them to deny it.
I'm with you, too. I think more access is better than less in all arenas, but...
If you're afraid to answer a question, and if you're afraid to have any opposition to what you're saying, then I understand why they wouldn't want these guys there.
Well, if you're afraid that your answer isn't going to be fairly represented.
All you have to do is say something or not. They're not forced to talk. They're not legally required to talk to Brandy. But if Brandy wants to ask a question on video and they want to respond, they are welcome to do that.
Fair. Yeah.
I don't think that's wrong. So why deny her a press pass unless you're afraid of the opposition? It sounds to me like they're afraid of the opposition. And you know what? They don't have to be. They don't have to be afraid because they have no opposition. They've shut them out. They can be drunk literally in the middle of the committee.
Babe,
nobody cares.
Both sides were drunk. Let's be clear about that.
No, we don't have that on video.
That's true.
I got video of one person drunk, House Majority Leader Joe Fitzgibbon.
We do have a Republican rep saying both sides drink.
She says there's booze in their office.
Both sides drink.
I have no video of anybody else drunk.
Being drunk. That's fair.
In the committee.
That's fair. I stand corrected. I appreciate you keeping me honest.
See? You need two sides, Spike. Also, I know we got to go. Fundamentally, I think it's a bad idea to have one party, whether it's Republican or whether it's Democrat, with no opposition. And that's what we have in Washington State.
Amen, brother. Amen. I am all for bipartisan cooperation and compromise.
All right, we got a lot more coming up. Stick around.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
You know the one question that guys hate to have asked of them by their wives, Nick?
I can take a good guess.
I know you know 100 of them. This is the worst one. Do these jeans make my butt look big?
Whoa.
Can't answer that one, right? What I've noticed is whenever you ask me questions like that, I just simply say, I don't know. What did the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic say?
Well, the doctors at Longevity Medical Clinic would tell me that my butt looks great in those jeans now that my hormones are balanced.
What'd they do? Did they give you something to bring your weight down?
No, just a result of having my hormones balanced caused me to lose weight. Who would have known? I had no idea that would be a result of it.
So that's good. So the answer is you look great. You're beautiful.
I feel great. I look great.
Yeah.
And I know it.
I've also noticed that your testosterone makes you a little feistier than you normally are as my beautiful Greek wife.
I might be small, but I have a loud bark.
Yes, you do. Do what Nick and I have done. Take a free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com.
As a social influencer, my days can be busy. 4 a.m., I hit the gym. 4:32, protein smoothie. 5:08, save time and money bundling my home and auto insurance with Progressive. Wait, if I bundle and save time, what would I do then? Just sit here and reflect? Like, why am I qualified to influence anyone? And how those weights are hollow? And half of my followers are bots.
You could save time and money bundling your home and auto when you switch to Progressive. It's one less thing to worry about during your already busy day. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free. free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
I'm here with Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, you were just telling me you think 2026 is going to be a rebound year for the housing market.
That's right. I think we're heading into the best real estate market of the past 4 years. And here's why. If you take a step back and look at the big picture, experts are anticipating a 15% increase in sales volume next year. Interest rates are at near 3-year lows and trending down, and home prices have held near all-time highs. There is a lot of pent-up demand. People have been sitting on the sidelines waiting for their time to jump into the market since 2022, and they need a place to buy.
So, hey, 2026 might be your year. If you're considering selling your home, if you're thinking about moving, but there was something that was just holding you back, now might be a great time. So do this. Go to sellwithwes.com. You can see your home's real value there with Wes's home value calculator. Then schedule an appointment by giving him a call. Sellwithwes.com. Sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
Staples has hot deals on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends 4/18, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 206-529-1111 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Compassion, communication, results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com. That's pendergastlaw.com.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
All right, welcome back to the show. Spike had to buzz out of here real fast. He got an emergency call. I think everything's going to be okay, but he had to buzz out of here real quick. He will be back tomorrow. So you just have me. Lucky ducks. Laura's here as well, so she'll even things out. All right. Are you guys Kelly Clarkson fans? I'm a massive Kelly Clarkson fan. I cannot get enough of her songs, whatever they are.
Breakaway. That's a personal favorite.
Is that a song?
Yeah. This is actually a great segment for Spike to leave and me to take over because
Breakaway.
I'm a huge Kelly Clarkson fan.
Are you really? I was saying it facetiously, but I know she's a very huge talent. She's obviously been famous for more than 2 decades. And she has really recently gotten, is she a GLP-1 person? I think she recently started getting very thin because of those things. I don't know that's the case.
When people get really thin lately, you just have to wonder, right?
Every time I see somebody who has been
and
larger than they are in the past.
Of course. You want to ask.
Of course. And you just go like, oh, is it GLP-1? And then there's the judgment and everything that people have for that. All right. I'm going to play you some audio here. I saw this thing that I thought was really interesting. So Kelly Clarkson, years ago, like 23 years ago or something, she won American Idol. That's where she kind of burst onto the scene, was American Idol. And this was what it sounded like when she was announced as a winner. And American Idol, for anybody who's too young and doesn't remember, was groundbreaking TV. I still remember it was Kelly Clarkson and Justin Guarini. It's like a really curly-haired guy.
Yeah, he didn't win, so
he didn't win. Who cares? So it was the two of them facing off, and like it was the first reality show that I can remember where you would call in. That was like the groundbreaking thing. It's like you were participating. It wasn't just the judges. You would call in. You had a vested interest in if somebody was going to be successful. It's like Survivor, but with singing and just, dashing people's dreams. You could call up and you could be a part of that.
I called in elementary school.
Did you really?
Yeah, the Jordan Sparks season with the local guy, Blake something. I can't remember his name now.
But you called in. Were you voting?
I called in. I voted for
Blake?
the local. Yeah.
Nice. So this was the sound when Kelly Clarkson, all those years ago, won American Idol. And then we'll tell you why we're talking about this, because she's revealed some behind-the-scenes stuff that kind of shocked me, that I found very interesting. But here's Kelly.
America has made their decision.
Get to it.
Kelly, Justin,
Yes.
The winner of American Idol 2002 is
Yes.
Kelly Clarkson.
Wow.
This was back when people still had attention spans. They could say things really slowly.
That was a long time. It was a 45-second reveal. And then when he finally said her name, it was just like Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, I thought that too. Kelly Clarkson.
Just very kind of...
I expected Kelly Clarkson.
Something exciting. So this was when you won American Idol, like most game shows, big reality shows, like Survivor's still this way. If you win Survivor, which is my favorite show on TV, you win $1 million, and everybody gets excited because you're instantly, oh my gosh, you're a millionaire now. You win $1 million. And Kelly Clarkson says that when she won Survivor, she was supposed to win $1 million and a car, which apparently she didn't really have at the time because she was just like bumming around LA, struggling. But she says, no, you didn't actually win $1 million. The devil was in the details. Listen to this.
You probably weren't alive when I was on American Idol, but I literally was on the show, and they were like, "Oh, you win $1 million or whatever." Da, da, da. No, you didn't. They lied.
Wait,
you did
what?
not.
What'd you
No,
get?
it was like $1 million worth of investment in you.
That's great.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yes!
I didn't know that.
And then they said you get a car, and I needed it because my car was bashed in and I couldn't afford the deductible. And no, I did not get a car. And then Clay Aiken, who didn't win the second season, got a car and his mom.
I remember Clay Aiken. He was like a household name, and then didn't he run for senator somewhere, or he ran for public office somewhere in like North Carolina? I could be wrong about that. That's crazy though. How disappointing would that be? You're like a young, struggling artist. You think you're going to win $1 million and walk away, and then you just get $1 million worth of investment in you. They did actually invest a lot in her. I mean, they put her in a movie. I can't even believe how long ago 2002 was. That was my senior year in high school. So this was like directed right at my age group. And she was in a movie called From Kelly to Justin at the time, which was like kind of a hit movie, I think. I mean, just the concept of a ridiculous hit movie based on these two people who are not actors because they were super famous on American Idol. She's now worth $60 million, so obviously she's done well. She has a daytime talk show, which is, I guess, very popular. I haven't seen it, but I think it's very popular.
She does fantastic covers of other people's songs. People are calling it it's like the Kelly Clarkson effect, where she'll take a song and she'll cover it better than the original singer.
She's a very good singer. Yeah, she's a very good singer. Do we have something for her? Here it is. She's good. All right, so Kelly Clarkson, she didn't get her $1 million, but she did get worldwide fame and fortune eventually. So don't feel bad for her. And she's gotten way skinnier and healthier, so that's good too. All right, we have a lot more coming up. Stick around. Tons of stuff in the 2 o'clock hour. You're not going to want to miss a second of it, so don't. We'll be right back.
And all you'd ever hear me say is how I picture me with you. That's all you'd ever hear me say. But since you've been gone, I can't breathe for the first time. I'm so
The John Curley Show.
When people sit there and they see people with the American flag and they're utterly disgusted because they associate the flag and USA with Donald Trump, don't do that. You're doing yourself an amazing disservice.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
You could dislike Donald Trump, but you can still love America. It's like discounting Photograph from Nickelback, which is actually a pretty good song. Think of the fact that you love this country, and what you love about it is it's inclusive. Good. Include others.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise. There's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by JTV.com.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. A vehicle ramming incident at the Temple Israel Synagogue in West Bloomfield Township, Michigan is under investigation. The suspect was engaged by security guards and is dead. An injured security guard was taken to a hospital. President Trump says he has been fully briefed, and he and the First Lady send their love to the Jewish community.
It's a terrible thing, but it goes on. We're going to be right down to the bottom of it. It's absolutely incredible that things like this happen.
Two law enforcement sources tell CBS News the suspect's body is badly burned, complicating identification, and there were mortar-type explosives in the vehicle. CBS News Detroit's Lauren Winfrey is at the scene.
We're seeing families reunited with their children. In fact, some of them even being escorted by police. We just saw that happen just a bit ago. So a lot of police presence out here, a lot of emergency vehicles. Nothing active happening right now.
CBS's Scott McFarland reports.
The broader concern comes from FBI bulletins we've been reading over the last few weeks and months. They have been issuing warnings from the FBI and Department of Homeland Security about extra potential targeting of Jewish institutions across America.
The suspect in a shooting today at Old Dominion University in Virginia is an ex-Army National Guard member with a past terror conviction. CBS's Cammie McCormick reports.
One person was killed and two others hurt in the shooting. The gunman is also dead. He's been identified by law enforcement as Mohammed Baylor Jallo, a former Virginia National Guardsman. He pleaded guilty in 2016 to attempting to provide ISIS with material support. He was sentenced to 11 years in prison and released in December of 24. He reportedly became radicalized while still in the Guard, listening to lectures by the former leader of al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula.
Iran's secretive top leader vows to keep up attacks in his first statement since being appointed. As CBS's Charlie D'Agata in Tel Aviv reports.
They've shown with their reach that they can go after areas like off the coast of Iraq, going after Bahrain, going after Oman. This is where the Iranians have shown that they have got that reach. They'll continue to fire with those drones, despite what President Trump and the U.S. military is trying to do to stop those launches.
The Artemis 2 moon mission launch was postponed after fuel leaks and other issues forced NASA to roll the spacecraft off the launch pad for repairs. Today, some good news for NASA. The rocket is expected to be rolled out to the launch pad next week. NASA's Dr. Lori Glaze.
Pending completion of the work in the VAB and at the pad, we are on track for a launch as early as April 1st.
This is CBS News.
Looking for spring jewelry looks? Find them at Jewelry Television. New customers get $20 off purchases of $99 or more at jtv.com.
Staples. A fugitive from Washington has been captured. More on that coming up. But first, let's head over to the KIRO Newsradio traffic desk and get an update with Lori.
Well, we're looking pretty good, actually. Seattle to Everett, you're going to see a 2-minute slowdown. Bellevue to Everett, 35-minute drive right now, costing you about 5 minutes. Heading to Federal Way from Bellevue, starting to ramp up a bit at 38 minutes. Federal Way to Tacoma, an easy 9-minute drive. 167 pretty heavy from Kent into Sumner. 512 slows approaching Canyon. And northbound I-5 going to see a slow drive from 512 to State Route 16. I'm Lori, KIRO, real-time traffic.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. He was on the FBI's most wanted list for only an hour. Then a man wanted for killing 2 women in Federal Way was arrested in Mexico. Federal Way Police Chief Andy Wong.
This tragic incident occurred in May of 2023 at the Stars Bar and Grill. Officers responded to reports of a shooting in the parking lot behind the business.
Samuel Ramirez Jr. was extradited from Mexico and transferred to Federal Way Police custody this morning. This is the quickest capture of a 10 most wanted fugitive in the history of the FBI list. One person is dead after a tree crashed down on their car yesterday during the windstorm. It happened east of Monroe on Florence Acres Road around 8:20 in the evening. Snohomish Regional Fire and Rescue says the victim was alone in the vehicle. The storm also caused problems in Carnation. Eastside Fire and Rescue posted on X that a tree fell onto a camper with someone inside. Downed trees and power lines blocked the road, making it tough for rescuers to get through. Winds hit 60 miles an hour across the lowlands and up to 130 miles an hour in the Cascades. Puget Sound Energy continues to restore power this afternoon, making good progress. Andrea Padula is with Puget Sound Energy.
Numerous tree limbs into our lines. There are some locations where we have had damage to substations and areas where poles have been taken out completely, which means we'll have to replace all of that. I believe that we had about 65,000 outages kind of at the peak of this storm.
That number is now down to just under 13,000. A new affordable housing project is going up in Lower Queen Anne. Crews broke ground this week on Altair at Queen Anne. It's a partnership between the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle and Spokane-based developer SRM. The 7-story building will have 114 apartments for people earning 60 to 80% of the area's median income. The project on West Mercer Street is expected to be finished in November of next year. And now a look at your weather. Light rain scattered across the region this afternoon, mid-40s for a high, 35 overnight, which could bring a rain-snow mix in the areas tomorrow morning. And then heavy snow continues over our mountain passes for the next couple days. 46, cloudy, and a little breezy now in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
And now, it's time for the Jake and Spike Show on KIRO News Radio. With your hosts, Jake Skorheim and Spike O'Neill.
Welcome back to the show. 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Spike is out and about this hour. He had a emergency pop up. It sounds like everything's fine, but he's a good guy and he's going to go check things out. But he will be back with us tomorrow to step in. I asked Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio reporter, who's got his finger on the pulse of everything happening right here locally in news. I said, Luke, why don't you come on in here and talk with me?
I am going to drop a deuce on everybody.
So here he is.
Deuce.
Welcome, Deuce.
Loose.
We should start calling you the Deuce. It's a good name.
You want to talk state legislature? What do you want to talk about?
I do. You have okay, so here's the thing. I read a story earlier by Charlie Harger. I didn't even see this one about the supportive housing that is now going to be legal and going in anywhere in the state when Governor Ferguson signs this bill. But you are also following all the different stuff that the legislators passed. Where do you want to start and what do you want to go through?
Let's start with if you want to be one of the cool kids, remember this saying right here, okay? Sine die. Sine die. Latin.
Okay.
You're going to be hearing that a lot. If you're a cool kid, you will know it because that's what lawmakers say at the last day of the legislative session, which happens today. And have you ever seen this? What they try to do is end both the House session and in the Senate session at the same time, and they have the gavels up, and someone's on a phone with the other House, and 3, 2, and they're trying to count down and hit the gavel at the same time to end the session.
It's tough to hit the gavel at the same time. Yeah, for sure.
Lame story. But
No,
anyways,
no,
it is.
It's a good story.
It's kind of stupid, actually.
No. Stop. Luke,
Not the
tell me a
story,
little
but
bit
the
about the
whole
gavels. No, I want to hear about sine
gavels
die,
are-
and I want to hear about the gavels.
No, that's it. That's all you need to know.
Are they
is
literally
sine
on the
die.
phone with each other?
Yeah, it's just dumb.
Why do they do that?
I don't know. I learned about that not too long ago, and then I tried to see it today, watch it, and I don't know.
Does something magical happen? When
No,
everybody,
nothing happens.
When
That's
they
just
finish
it.
at the same time?
No.
No?
It just closes things out.
Just shuts things down.
They should do like fireworks or up it or something.
I'm surprised that their technology is actually. I'm not surprised because it's bureaucracy and it's government. I'm not surprised that they have crazy antiquated technology there. I would think that there would just be some sort of a live screen where they're both looking at each other and kind of going, "All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, gavel," and then that's it.
Right.
And instead, they're on a physical phone. I assume this is like a rotary phone that they have next to the desk.
Yes, it is with a cord and everything. It's not like I'm even a mobile phone.
Are you being serious?
I'm serious. Come on, FaceTime that stuff. Let's go.
They have a old-fashioned desk phone.
That's how I've seen it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's really
Maybe practice it a little bit.
Yeah, they could. Or just, you know what? We do it every day because we have a clock. If they know that they want to finish every day at exactly a certain time, that solves that problem. These are just efficiencies that people like us outside of government come up with immediately. Yeah. They're wasting taxpayer dollars.
These are the most important things that we have to talk about.
Move us past the gavels. Move us past the gavels.
Obviously, the big one, the big law that passed, the income tax on millionaires, it's on its way to the governor's desk where it will become law. However, there was a little wrinkle yesterday. It was really interesting. After that marathon 24-hour House floor debate, it passed with a few amendments, and then it went to the Senate because I had to get some signatures, and then go to the governor's desk. But Republican Senator Chris Gildon said, whoa, wait a minute, red flag, there may be some procedural challenges here because there are too many amendments that maybe have changed the original Senate bill. So you got to go back to the House with this thing. It would have stalled it, and maybe, it would have, not been passed. But Lieutenant Governor Denny Heck got lawyers from both sides of the aisle into a room for about an hour. They talked about it. He came back out and said, no, we reject the challenge. So it will, in fact, be law.
So it will now get signed into law.
It will get law.
Can I play you some audio?
Absolutely.
I don't need you to respond to this, but this is just something that I thought about because you're an impartial news person.
Supposed to be. Yeah.
And I'm not. This is applause. This was in the House. This is not the Senate, but this is the House of Representatives. This is after a 24-hour session where Republicans basically spent 24 hours trying to suggest new amendments, things like a floor to make sure it never touches below millionaire status. Of course, Democrats said, no. We definitely want this to touch other people besides millionaires. And so they said no to that and all these various other things. And so
60 amendments.
60 amendments. I think only 2 made it through.
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Like that, yeah.
When they finally finished, this is the sound. They erupted into applause. I assume this is not Republicans. This is mostly Democrats applauding. Actually, I would say exclusively Democrats applauding, but here it is. Applause. This is what it reminded me of.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
With thunderous applause.
I'll laugh at that.
All right, let's move on. What was the other one?
Controversial bill to ban police officers and federal agents from wearing masks while on duty also passed. So it's
question.
On the... Yeah.
Point of order. Question.
Yep.
Gavel.
There you go.
Does this apply to local police when they are in the midst of, let's say, the WTO riots? We all remember the WTO riots. And when those were happening, and those were ne'er-do-wells out, breaking things, throwing things, putting the police officers at danger, I saw a bunch of pictures of SPD officers with masks on.
Tear gas and all that stuff.
Yeah.
No, it does not apply in
to
those circumstances. They can wear respirators, SWAT can wear masks, conducting operations because they might have to deploy tear gas and stuff like that. So in those circumstances, you can wear a mask. It's just if you're pulling me over, an officer can't have if there's no COVID or anything like that.
They say they can't have a mask on.
Yeah. And then others say, the feds may not follow this anyway because
They
of the
100% won't
supremacy
follow this.
clause.
Supremacy clause, yeah.
Senate bill to decertify sheriffs and police chiefs.
Did that make it
fail to meet
through?
professional standards. That did pass. That's going to be a law.
That's a bad deal. That's a bad deal.
A lot of people are opposed to that.
A lot of
Absolutely.
people opposed.
On
This
both sides of
basically-
the aisle are opposed to it.
Yeah, and what this essentially does is it allows an unelected board to decertify, and then this is the extra thing they get to remove said sheriff
That's right.
that they don't like for reasons like could be a Facebook post that they don't like. It could be said they said something that they don't like.
Which is a First Amendment issue.
It's a
which
First
could
Amendment
come up.
issue.
There could be a legal challenge if someone is fired for sure. But I think the other side would say that it just holds the same sheriffs and police chiefs to the same standard as cops on the beat as
It's
well.
interesting because I would think that local jurisdictions would already have, because they do, they already have things in place to hold these guys accountable for these things. Local voters would have the opportunity.
That's a remedy.
You could just get rid of them. You could, once they're decertified, you could go through the process of making sure that they're no longer there. They could step down. There's all these different things that they already have. It feels to me, I could be wrong about this, but it feels to me like they're trying to say there are sheriffs out there that we don't like, that we want to try to figure out a way to get rid of. This is just my opinion. It may be wrong. That we want to get rid of, and so we're going to create this new category where we could then, because they already had the ability to decertify, they just didn't have the ability to remove.
I think Pierce County Sheriff Keith Swank would say he's absolutely being targeted.
He says he's at the top of that list.
And he might even say the bill was crafted because of him.
I think he has a strong case.
If he doesn't, I think other people might say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get some good ones. These are good, and then I'll get to one that I think you'll probably like. The push to lower Washington's legal DUI limit from 0.08 to 0.05 that failed.
That to me, I understand why that failed because I don't really understand the point of it.
Well, a couple things. It's kind of interesting in that Utah did this, and they lowered it to like a 0.05, but they had a trade-off with the hospitality industry saying, okay, craft beer makers, you can up the alcohol level in your beer, which they wanted to do anyway, but lowered it. They saw a huge reduction in crashes and accidents on the highway. Also, when it comes to this next bill that did pass,
Can I make a quick joke about
go
about the drinking?
Absolutely.
Did Joe Fitzgibbon vote against it?
Well, there you go.
There you go. All right, then moving on.
Maybe a lot of lawmakers did.
I bet you they did. I bet you they did.
It also, I heard this from the King County prosecutor who testified during a public hearing on that bill to lower the BAC. That if you do that, then you lower the per se amount. The testing is only done above the per se amount. So in other words, if you arrest someone, pull them over, you got a breathalyzer test, and they have a 0.05 right on the bingo on the mark, you don't have to send that lab, that blood or whatever sample off to a lab to have it tested because you just don't. So it saves you from a backlog also in the the state crime lab. Which was another bill to allow DUI blood samples to be sent to private labs rather than just the state crime lab. That passed because it currently takes, according to Erica Evans, Seattle city attorney, more than a year to get results back from the state lab.
That's insane to me.
Yeah.
That's so long.
Yeah. They've just got they're backlogged. Yeah.
Do you remember Swank? Back to Swank for a second.
Sure.
Didn't Swank one time, he took a lot of flack for it, but he was giving the advice. He said, if you get pulled over for a DUI, don't take the breathalyzer. Wasn't that him? Do you remember him saying that?
Don't do the test.
Don't do the test.
And don't do a breathalyzer either.
Yeah. And then people were like, this is not something a law enforcement official. That to me is when I think he first came on the radar with people saying things that they didn't like. And he was basically saying, hey, I can, First Amendment right, I can tell people what advice I would give to my friends.
And he himself has a DUI conviction.
There you go. After that happened, I actually talked to some friends of mine in law enforcement. I said, what is it about this? Like, is this actually advice that you would give out? And I wouldn't put any of them on the record because I certainly don't want them to have the same
what'd they say?
response from Swank. And one of my good buddies said, I'm not going to say where he works, but he goes, yeah, you probably don't want to take that test because he goes, we're looking for a lot of different stuff. And the goal is to try to find a way to get you on that thing. We suspect you of that. That's what we're shooting for. But if you don't take the test, it does take away one of the avenues that we have to prove that that's what was happening to you. Yeah. You will there are repercussions. You're still going to have to go and take a further test down at the station, right? You're going to have to, if you refuse to take the test, you will lose your license for a year, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not like it's without repercussions, but it might make it harder for somebody to get a DUI. I'm not telling anybody to do this. I'm just saying he gave advice that other people have also given, and that was something I remember.
That absolutely makes sense to me because you got less evidence to go on.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Big wins for Republicans. They killed Senate Bill 6045, which sought to create a formal process to basically allow farm workers, agricultural workers to unionize. The thinking there from Republicans was that, and obviously there are more Democrats than Republicans, so this bill was killed. It would have really put some, heavy burden on the ag industry as well.
I didn't realize because we're such a huge farming state.
Yeah.
And we grow so much stuff. Like I heard this, anecdotally, I think this is true, but we'd have to double check it. We produce more potatoes than Idaho does.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Washington, even though Idaho's known, we're the potato state.
Famous Idaho potatoes.
Yeah, but I guess Washington produces more than Idaho. People in Idaho are hearing this going like sacrilege. Like, no. But farming-wise, it's very difficult to farm here in our state. And if you add another layer of bureaucracy and make it more difficult for these guys to find the work that they need, then, yeah, I can understand why that one didn't pass.
Costs. But on the other side, there is, others would say there's inequities. They don't have the ability to negotiate working conditions, wages, and benefits like you would in other private sector areas. Another win for Republicans, a partial rollback of the state's estate tax. That went through. It's still the largest. When I listened to Senate Republican leader John Braun at the point this morning, it was going through, and everyone agreed to roll it back. It's still going to be rolled back to 20%. So,
which is still the highest.
I think it's still the highest in the nation.
Yeah, it is.
But it's better than 35%.
Here's
is where
it
was.
This to me is a perfect prime example. This whole income tax thing that we've been talking about, and we had Jamie Peterson, Senate Majority Leader. He was on the show, and he's the architect of that thing. This is like this is his ring in the Lord of the Rings. He's Gollum in this case. This is what he wants and desires above all else. This is his raison d'etre. And the problem is you have exactly at the same time him voting against, I believe he voted against, or voted in favor of rolling back the estate tax, recognizing that it is harming the state because you're causing rich people to leave. How could those two things both be true at the same time for him? He's saying, yeah, you can't overtax rich people because they're going to leave the state. And at the same time, he's saying, let's overtax rich people, but they're not going to leave the state. That makes no sense to me. And yet they recognize 35% estate tax, which Spike and I were talking about this earlier, seems totally immoral to me. You've already made that money. You've been taxed on that money probably 10,000 different ways. You somehow managed to get it into a savings, and at the end of your life, God bless you, you're heading off to heaven, and you want to leave something behind for your kids, and then this state says, whoa, we're basically one of your children, and we get a giant chunk of that. That seems crazy to me. Obviously, it seems crazy to everyone else, so they're rolling it back to 20%. Because it's causing people to leave. Look at Howard Schultz, who just left. Just left. I guarantee you these were all considerations for him. It's not the sunnier weather, nice as it is.
That, and in addition to the capital gains tax that was just raised last year, Jeff Bezos left, and he is now living in Florida.
He took his billions with him.
And waited until he got to Florida and established residency to sell a bunch of stock, and he saved, the estimate is something like $360 million in taxes if he had sold that stock here. I mean, don't you think we're going to have a state income tax at some point? I grew up in Virginia where when I was living there, it was 4.5%. So I was used to that. It was really a pain filling out 2 tax forms, federal and state, every year. But
the problem is that we have so many other taxes. Are they showing any inclination to roll back any of the other taxes? No. You look at Idaho, like I heard what was this? We had this yesterday. I can play this again because a lot of people were like, oh, that's interesting. Do we have that cut? Hill, where is that at, Laura? I'm going to pull this up. Can you bump that up somewhere so I can find this? This is Representative Hill, here it is. I got it here. Natasha Hill. She says she doesn't expect millionaires to leave our state because of the millionaire tax. I'm going to play this cut. And literally within minutes, not minutes, but like within 24 hours of her saying this was right after the 24-hour marathon session. Then they passed the bill, and then Howard Schultz makes his announcement that he's leaving. And so listen to what she had to say about this.
With capital flight.
And I'm bringing this up because, like what you just said, do I think that we'll eventually have an income tax? She talks about Idaho here, and she gives Idaho as an example because Idaho does have a 5.3% flat income tax across all levels. But she's misrepresenting why Idaho is still a better place to be. Listen to this.
Truth is, millionaires would pay more in other states, Madam Speaker. Even our youth today appreciate when we talk about the difference between 6, 7 figures. And then this only applies to 0.25% of Washington's population, meaning
For now.
99.75%
We'll someday have this.
are not going to be paying this tax.
For now.
Those making six figures or less, Madam Speaker, pay less in Washington. If you're making about $60K to $120K a year in Washington, you don't pay any income tax. Over in Idaho, you're paying about $3,400 to $6,800. If somebody's making over seven figures, they still pay less. For example, if you're making $1.2 million here in Washington, you're only paying, you get that first million free, and you're only paying taxes on the $200,000, about $20,000. Over in Idaho, you're going to be paying about $68K.
Okay, so the difference obviously is Idaho has far fewer other taxes than Washington State. Washington State is one of the highest tax state in the country. I think maybe only two. Once this passes, we will have the highest tax rate except for New York and California, which last time I checked are not cheap places to live.
No, they're not.
And you need a lot of money to live in California and also New York. Like, they're famously very expensive. Now, Washington is right in there with them now with the passage of this income tax. In Idaho, as far as tax burden goes, Idaho is the 11th friendliest state to live in from a tax burden perspective. Washington is 45th. We have all sorts of other things. They don't have a B&O tax, which makes it very expensive to do business here. 60% of businesses that start in Washington State fail, which is far above the national average. It's very difficult to do business here. If you want to sell a house in Washington State, Washington State pays higher sales tax. They pay higher property taxes. All these different things add up. And so when you add on top of that, now an income tax on high earners, which eventually makes its way out to everybody, I think it's very disingenuous for her to say, yeah, it's really expensive to go anywhere, because that's just not true. So to your question, do I think that we'll have an income tax? If we did it like Idaho, I wouldn't have a problem with it. A 5.3%, great. For everybody across the board, flat, corporations and people, that seems perfectly reasonable to me.
And it doesn't seem like we're going to solve anytime soon the overarching question about, oh, I forgot my train of thought.
It's expensive to live in Washington State.
Well, there's that, yeah.
It's very expensive to live in Washington State.
I can't even remember what I was going to say. But I did want to touch on one other, and we're running out of time.
Please.
Everything's okay. Don't worry that you will never be forced by an employer, according to state law now, because this passed, that you will be forced to put a microchip under your skin.
Was that a thing?
It's a preemptive thing. A lot of states are doing it.
Who's doing it? Who's forcing you to put a microchip under your skin?
No one in the United States is. No company is doing that. But apparently around the world, this is a thing.
So Washington
State
is now
some 50,000 people worldwide that have had microchips placed in under their skin, like you would your pet.
I was going to say, I think we had a dog once with a microchip,
right.
but not a. I didn't have one. Although I do have an Apple tag in my shoe in case I get lost.
That was passed.
That passed.
That passed.
Thank God.
We're safe from microchips under the skin.
Lord. Thank the Lord. All right, Luke Ducey, he's the best. Thanks for coming in, man. We
Thanks
appreciate
for having
it.
me. Sorry I forgot my train of thought.
You know what? I like how we finished anyway.
Yeah.
We gabbled at the same time. We got a lot more coming up. We'll be right back.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group. KIRO News Radio, the first place you turn for the news you trust.
Seattle's new mayor is laying out a big vision.
She offered few specifics.
Engaging conversation.
Has anybody noticed their electric bill? It's diabolical, Ursula.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Streaming everywhere on the KIRO News Radio app. Always here, always with you. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. bonus.
At Bible Law Group, we understand what it means to be local legal representation. From shopping at the Bon Marché, picking up gear at Chubby and Tubby, crying for Joey Cora, now for Cal, grabbing a burger while JP Patches clowns by. We live here and fight for you. That's why Bible Law gives local representation to those facing legal problems too big for prayers, even if you can't pronounce Squim or Puyallup. Our legal team has secured more than $40 million in settlements for our clients. We're ready to fight for you. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com. This is Lynn. She's always been active, maybe a little too active back in the day.
When I was 19 years old and immortal, I stripped out all my ligament and I had to have 6 knee surgeries, and that's on my right knee. And then my left knee finally gave out and had a torn meniscus.
Years of pain followed until she saw Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm 4 months out and I have no pain in my knees, and I have had knee pain my whole life. I have no concept of what it was like without pain. It's a miracle. I'm totally thrilled.
No pain, no limits.
Dr. Wagner gave me the green light to ski again this year. I'm like, that's incredible. So I'm just so excited.
After years of surgeries and setbacks, Lynn finally got her freedom back.
I think he saved my legs, so saved my knees, and gave me at least another 10, 15 years to do what I want to do.
If joint pain is holding you back, find out what stem cell therapy could do for you with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Find your pot of gold at Lake Washington Windows and Doors with savings up to 20% on new windows and doors for your home. Plus, enjoy easy 12-month same as cash financing. Strike gold today. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Nate Connors. Today marks the end of the legislative session in Olympia. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports Republicans say overall the session wasn't great, but there were some wins.
Senator John Braun calls a bill to lower the estate tax one big win for Republicans. Another win, killing bills that supported a union for farm workers and reformed penalties for environmental pollution.
Which would have been a death nail for an ag sector that's already having a super hard time here in the state of Washington.
He also says plans are underway to challenge the income tax on millionaires in court.
And if the state Supreme Court cares about the state constitution, that should be the end of it.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
For the second straight year, downtown Seattle has surpassed pre-pandemic levels in terms of visitors. 15 million people came to downtown last year. John Scholes, president and CEO of the Downtown Seattle Association, spoke with KIRO 7 TV.
We have seen a little bit of a plateau in the momentum around visitor growth, which has really kind of carried us out of the pandemic here in downtown, over these last several
years, and we're not seeing a plateau when it comes to the employment situation. We're seeing a decline.
Nearly 13,000 downtown Seattle jobs were lost last year, and office vacancy was at 25%. A potential new weapon against fentanyl overdoses is moving closer to human trials. KIRO Newsradio's Jillian Raftery reports.
Seattle-based Counter X Therapeutics announced a licensing deal this week with the University of Washington and University of Minnesota. The agreement gives Counter X access to patents for opioid treatments and vaccines. Its lead candidate is an injectable antibody that latches onto fentanyl and stops it from reaching the brain. The company says it's not an opioid and showed no bad side effects in early testing. The Puget Sound Business Journal reports clinical trials are expected to begin later this year. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
At 2:33, we send it over to the KIRO News Radio traffic desk and say hello to Lori.
Traffic is brought to you by Subaru of Puyallup, and we're starting to see a little bit of increase now as we head from Seattle to Everett, a 45-minute drive now. Bellevue to Everett is 35 minutes. If you're heading to Federal Way from Bellevue, 41 minutes, but Seattle to Tacoma, that is a simple 45-minute drive. We're seeing a slowdown 167 from Auburn into Sumner, and both directions of 18 right now, pretty heavy between I-5 and 167. Visit Subaru of Puyallup for friendly experts, transparent pricing, genuine care, and savings during the Subaru A Lot to Love event through March 31st. SubaruofPuyallup.com. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. Light rain across the region this afternoon. Heaviest in the convergence zone near Everett, and heavy snow continues up in the mountain passes. Cloudy and 46 in downtown Seattle. I'm Nate Connors, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, welcome back to the show. Spike is out this hour, but he will be back tomorrow, so you will tune back in for him tomorrow. Joining me now, though, very excited to have him on the show, Jason Rance from Seattle Red 770, The Jason Rance Show. Jason, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad that you're glad to be here. I want to talk about this is not really a newsy thing. I guess it is in a small sense. Now, is there a possible way to get Jason on the screen as well?
No.
Or you don't want to be on the screen?
No.
Okay.
I'm camera shy.
All right, there he is. All right, if you're watching
You're
live,
only on
you
the
can
screen
now
when
see
you
Jason.
talk, so you should talk.
I will talk the entire time. It's not my show.
There you go.
Come on.
All right, the reason, Jason, you and I were passing in the hallway,
Yes.
and I was telling you, I said, hey, Jason, have you seen the new trailer for the Malcolm in the Middle reboot? I just assumed, I had a sense, I don't know why, I just had a sense that because you and I are the same age, we grew up watching the same stuff. When I was a kid, Malcolm in the Middle was so funny. I thought it was such a great show. Not a kid. I would have been, older than that at the time, maybe a teenager.
You were definitely a teenager because I was in college when it was still on.
Oh, well, then maybe I was in college when it was on. Anyway, Malcolm in the Middle is getting a reboot, and I asked you about it, and you dropped this pretty cool bit of information that I didn't know, which was...
I was a writer's intern for the writer's room of Malcolm in the Middle. I wrote what's called a show Bible for them. I believe it was either 2 seasons or 3 seasons. I can't remember. This was part of a college internship that I was in. And a show Bible is essentially a breakdown of the plot points of every single episode in a series. Every show has that.
Which for network television is generally between 23 and 26 episodes. It's quite a hefty piece of work. And includes all the characters, in this case, all the wacky, crazy characters in the Malcolm in the Middle universe. I love that show. I thought it was great. I thought it was hilarious. It is the first place that I ever saw Bryan Cranston, who then went on to Breaking Bad fame.
Who's an incredibly nice guy. So I
met him?
I met him and here's the funny thing. I was a writer's intern, so I was spending almost all the time in the writer's offices. I was on set every so often, but for the most part, I had no contact whatsoever. I met Bryan Cranston one time in which we had a conversation of maybe 7 seconds, right? He introduced himself. I said my name.
He said, give me a coffee. You said, yes, sir.
3 years later, he's doing a radio show that I was producing in Los Angeles at the time, and I booked him, and he remembered who I was and my name.
Are you serious?
He knew exactly who I was.
Don't you love hearing stories like that?
That I like. He's a little crazy politically, but that I like.
He's a great actor.
Yes.
He's very good. Malcolm in the Middle, I'll tell you about it in just a second. It has one of the funniest things I've ever seen in on network comedy ever. But I'm going to play you a little bit of this cut of what the reboot of the show is. And just to give you a little backstory, Malcolm is the middle child in a family of 4 boys, and he has like an older and a younger and then a way older brother. So there's like 4 boys. And his parents and his brothers are all kind of idiots. But he is a genius. And he's in the middle, and he's kind of surrounded by idiots. It's kind of the premise of the show. Now, as an adult, his parents, played by Bryan Cranston, and his wife, whose character name is Lois. So Hal and Lois...
Jane Kaczmarek. They are celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary, and they have to all get back together for this wedding anniversary. And it's only a 4-episode, like it's a limited series. It's going to be on Hulu. It comes out in just about a month. So here's a little bit of the reboot trailer.
You know, I can call back later.
Come on, Dewey. You've seen this like 1,000 times. Undergrowth.
Lois is shaving everything.
Which is an ongoing bit on that show.
Which is like how the original show starts, too, yeah.
Yeah, I look different. But hey, everything about me is different. I have a girlfriend. And the best thing in the whole world, my daughter, Leah.
Dad, quit it.
My life is fantastic now. All I have to do is stay completely away from my family.
We just found out that Malcolm has been intentionally hiding himself from this family for years.
I won't play the whole trailer because a lot of it's very visual, but he's been estranged from the family. They're not even really aware of it because, again, they're kind of supposed to be kind of stupid.
They're hapless.
They're hapless. There you go. And so he has to get back into the family, and they're introduced like they don't even know his daughter, and he's telling his now girlfriend, who's probably at some point, if I know network TV, he probably will get engaged during the show. He's telling her that, oh my gosh, my parents are so crazy. And then he mentions his brothers. And she goes, you have brothers? So he's not sharing anything about his family. So the situation that leads them back together is very funny. It's weird seeing them all old. It's very off-putting.
It is off. Well, to a degree. There are 3 of them who look identical.
The brothers?
2 of the brothers. Okay. And Bryan Cranston, it's hard to not see him in that age, just because we've seen him for a long time.
2, but not 3 of the brothers, because one of the brothers actually was recast.
Yes.
I believe one of the brothers actually passed away in between. But
is that true? I thought he just didn't want to do it.
Oh, maybe I was wrong. I thought one of the actors passed. I don't know.
Maybe.
Let's not spread the word if we don't know. But one of them was recast. But you said Bryan Cranston also looks...
Bryan Cranston, it's hard. Again, it's kind of hard for me to tell because I know what he looks like and I've seen him for several years. But
Breaking Bad and
the older middle brother and the older brother look identical.
Yeah, Francis and Reese.
To what they did. And Frankie Muniz, who plays Malcolm in the middle, looks he always kind of looked like an adult as a child. He just has that face. He looks identical.
He looks like the exact same. Now, he in real life, people may not know this, he is actually a successful NASCAR driver.
Yep. He actually knows how to drive and is good at it.
He's very good at it. He actually...
He's not a celebrity who happens to do it and like, oh, it's a past celebrity. He's hardly a celebrity anymore.
Yeah, this will make him more of a celebrity than he's been in like 20 years, but in the NASCAR world, he is known because he's actually like a sponsored driver. He's got a team. He races in famous races. I don't think he's ever won like a big giant cup series or anything, but he does very well. And obviously, Bryan Cranston is the biggest of all these stars. But one of the funniest episodes, just going to say real fast, the premise of the show was their house was crazy, which I can identify with because my wife and I also have 4 boys. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that.
MAGA kids.
4 beautiful little kids who are not political in any way. But so in the Malcolm in the Middle show, they're cleaning out the house and they're trying to like get into a closet and clean out some space because the house is so packed with these kids everywhere that they're just trying to like get any extra little space that they can. And as they're cleaning out this closet, they recognize like how kind of quiet it is in there. So they're just in there like killing time because the kids don't know that they're in there. And while they're in there moving stuff around trying to find a comfortable place to sit, they see what they think is an old toilet. And they realize in that moment that this actually was a bathroom that they didn't know about, that they had just filled with junk the day they moved in. And then
their life changed.
Their life changes because suddenly they went from a 1-bathroom to a 2-bathroom house.
That really was a good show at a time when there wasn't a ton of really smart, thoughtful television. There was some good TV at the time, no doubt. But this was one of those shows where it was a comedy, it was single camera, and it managed to also actually be funny and thoughtful at the same time, even though it's very much almost like a slapstick.
It's very like slapstick, yeah.
I don't know what the term would be, but it's
very goofy.
Yeah.
But it actually has...
But it's serious too.
But it's really got heart.
It really did.
Did you get a chance to meet anybody else besides Bryan Cranston?
Frankie Munoz ran into me literally after
With his
running.
car?
No,
Oh.
he was running in the hallways and he bumped into me. That was it.
I just remember when I was. Do you remember a show called Punk'd?
Yes.
Okay, so Ashton Kutcher, who is a guy
There's
who
no E. It's an apostrophe D.
Punk'd, exactly. He used to have a show called Punk'd where he would pull pranks on people. And I remember one episode where in the height of Malcolm in the Middle fame, Frankie Muniz, who I thought was a small child, but actually was a teenager at this point. He looks very young.
He's 40.
He's now 40-something. Yeah, he's our age. Well, you're much younger. You're 29.
I've been 29 for 15 years now.
No, you're 29. But he had a Porsche, like a really famous Porsche 911 of some sort. That was like a $250,000 car. And he's like a 16-year-old driving around in this in LA, which is insane. But Malcolm in the Middle made so much money. So for the Punk'd episode, they stole his car and didn't let him know. So he's just like the 16-year-old running around, kind of crying on TV. But he's been in love with cars forever. Now he's a professional driver. So it worked out for him. Good for him.
Good for him.
The show premieres on Hulu, Disney Plus on April 10th. 4 episodes. You can check it out. Obviously, I'm excited.
Did they pay for that advertisement?
They did.
We just did for 12 minutes?
I just thought it'd be fun because I like the show, and you worked on it, which is crazy. All right, we got a lot more coming up. We got your text messages and stuff next. Jason Rance, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
If you've saved more than $300,000, there's one thing you can do now that could make your savings go twice as far in retirement, and it's tax planning. That's right, tax planning could significantly reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k withdrawals, Social Security benefits, and other investment income. Charlie Harger here. Find out how much money you could save with a free retirement tax savings analysis from the good people at Boss Retirement Solutions. To schedule your free analysis, call 206-210-1350. Tax planning for retirement could reduce your taxes not just for 1 year, but for the rest of your life. And the savings could be 6 figures. Let's find out how much money you could save. Call 206-210-1350. 206-210-1350.
For informational purposes only, actual results may vary. No statement contained herein shall constitute tax, legal, or investment advice.
Big Trees is Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. Looking for a big selection of big trees? Visit Big Trees in Snohomish or BigTreeSupply.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you. Guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
Nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all. Sound like your home? Then call for your free inspection.
InsulationNorthwest.com. Welcome back to the show. All right, we got a lot of responses today from folks talking about all sorts of things. Thank you guys so much for hitting us up on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, 888-973. 5476. All right, Laura, do you want to fire away? Yeah, it's too late now. We can't get any more now. But
I've printed these out. We're ready to read texts. A listener actually endorsed watching us on the YouTube live stream.
Nice.
So I thought I'd read that out. Frank from Mill Creek, who says he's in Phoenix right now, says, I just spent the last half hour watching you two on YouTube. You're having way too much fun. You clowns make a great team.
Oh, Frank,
I just want
you.
to clarify, he's talking about you and Spike.
Yeah, well, or me and you, or me and Spike, me and Jason, anybody in here, we're just having a good time. So we'll take it however you meant it, Frank. All positive. Thank you so much. I really do recommend it. It is a fun, different way to watch the show. Like, we get text messages from people all the time who are like, even if we're not fully listening, sometimes we'll just put you on the screen on TV, on YouTube, and just like have you on in the background. And it's like we're in your living room, just hanging out with you, which is kind of a fun thing.
It's also what you do for your kids, right?
Well,
put the show on the.
You do put things on to
I've seen some
satiate them sometimes.
I've just seen some really cute videos of your youngest, like clapping at the screen and waving at you.
Oh yes,
yeah,
absolutely, yes. Although it does make me sad that my child knows me only through a TV screen. No, I'm just kidding.
Someday he'll meet you.
Someday he'll meet me in person. All right, 206. This is on a piece of mime. This was an amazing idea that Spike had earlier. We're talking about autonomous rides. Uber has just teamed up with Amazon, who has a new company. There's a lot of names, but Amazon has a new company called Zoox, Z-O-O-X. I believe it's called Zoox, and it's an autonomous vehicle that basically, I tried to describe it earlier in a really stupid way, and Spike saw it and instantly got it right. It looks like an old-fashioned carriage, like would be pulled behind by a horse. It's like a horseless carriage.
Ooh.
Which is how they described early cars, but it doesn't look like an early car. It looks like a carriage. And underneath the seating area, you have your battery, you have your wheels, but these are being rolled out in as a test in Las Vegas and Los Angeles, and they're driverless, completely driverless, and the seats face each other so that you're having like a communal experience.
This is going to be huge for Bridgerton fans, I'll tell you that.
There you go, especially if they dress them up as old-fashioned stuff. Sean in Arlington says, I want a Johnny Cab robot driver from the Total Recall movie with a bad sense of humor. LOL. Thank you, Sean.
On available office space in downtown Seattle, G in Puyallup says, no, gentlemen. The number one causing factor for 32% office vacancy rate is people working remotely. Companies have figured out that they don't have to deal with the public if there are no employees in the offices, and people would rather work in their bathrobes and sip on scotch and sodas rather than, actually coming into work. This has started since the pandemic and will not quit anytime.
Soon, what is the last line
soon
here?
Taxation has nothing to do with this. Maybe he means taxation has nothing to do with this whatsoever. Yeah.
I disagree, G. I do think that plays a percentage of it. I mean, I do think that obviously we've seen, for instance, King County employees still do not have to be back in work full time, I don't believe. In fact, they were just recently trying to figure out how do we get these guys to come back to work. I think it was even like 3 days a week. And there are businesses like Amazon who are now trying to get everybody back in the office full time. But I do know for a fact that a lot of companies have decided, specifically when they were introducing head tax things, they were moving across to Bellevue. We had those numbers from the Downtown Seattle Association, who has a vested interest in Seattle having businesses. It's the Downtown Seattle Association. And they were saying that office space in Seattle is down. Bellevue office work is up. So take that for what you will, G. But you're not completely off. Some of it is to do with people working remotely. So thank you. On Kelly Clarkson not winning $1 million, 360 says America's Got Talent is the same way. You don't win $1 million. You win $40,000 per year for many years. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Sean in Arlington says, Jake, I'm a little jealous. 2002 seems like a long time ago. I'm at the age where that feels like not long ago at all.
Well, that's nice, Sean. Thank you. That's very nice to say. Is he saying I'm young?
I think he's saying you're young.
Oh, that's nice. God bless you. On Brandy Cruz being denied a press pass, are reporters from Fox, CNN, MSN Now, NPR, etc., all reporting unbiased views? The answer is clearly no. Should all those networks be denied press passes? In my opinion, it is press manipulation to deny access to any view. Do we have a name for who said that?
Oh, I don't.
Whoever said it, I think you're spot on. Why not just let everybody have a press pass if you work in new media or wherever? I'm not saying just give it to any person off the street, but if you can prove that you work for and report on these stories, which they do, they're reporting on these stories, even if you don't like the way that they're reporting it. And again, lawmakers are not forced, they're not compelled to answer questions from these people. It would behoove them to do so, I think, unless they disagree with their points of view, which is why they would deny them press passes. All right, let's move on to something better. Go ahead, Laura.
On potatoes, 425 says Washington has a higher yield per acre for potatoes. The Idaho does produce more overall.
Okay.
I found that fascinating.
Yeah.
We could take over the potato market
if we want
from
to.
Idaho. It's ours for the taking anytime we want it.
But when those taxes kick in, good luck. How many potatoes does that cost us? How many? On the thunderous applause for the millionaire's tax, 425 says the sound of lawmakers applauding so that they can charge taxpayers more might be one of the most pathetic cringe moments in Olympia politics. 425, you said it great. I think that's fantastic. I totally agree with you.
Also from the 425, the millionaire's tax is a violation of Washington State's constitution. Impeach the entire Washington State legislature and vote in honest politicians who work for the people.
There you go. All right, let's end 425. You had the last word today. Thank you so much. Great show, everybody. We will be back tomorrow. John Curley's coming up next. Hope you guys have a great day. We're going to be back tomorrow with lots of guests, and it's a Friday, which is always a lot of fun. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
KIRO News Radio, where you turn for the news you depend on.
Two competing budget proposals. Senators want to be aggressive, they say.
Traffic.
We have a stall on westbound 16.
Conversation.
If they pass this thing and Governor Ferguson signs it into law, I think there's going to be a mass political sea change in Washington State.
And your Super Bowl champion Seahawks.
They're bringing it home again.
Broadcasting live from the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. fiction. One day, Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers.
Research shows a correlation between daylight saving time and increased car accidents. If you're in a car accident, call CAR. Herald Car Law offices will handle the insurance so you can recover. Go to carlaw.com. That's CARR. Car accident? Call CAR.
Mark is 76, and his shoulder pain was getting in the way of him playing baseball. You heard that right. Baseball.
Yeah, there's a whole league here of old guys pretending like we're kids.
The pain from severe arthritis just wasn't going away.
It was like a nerve-type pain, and I couldn't sleep at night.
That's when Mark decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Well, if I can avoid surgery anytime, you'd probably be better off.
Mark is back out on the diamond playing baseball.
So I moved into this retirement community, and I talked about my shoulder, and these old people here, they got all excited about it, and two of them now have gone to see Mark Wagner. They don't like driving into Seattle, so I drive them in.
He more than recommends Dr. Wagner. He chauffeurs. So whether it's a hip like mine or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. He's the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877